tech you need to keep moving. We're calling all Titans. Of the neighborhood, the outdoors, the community. You've got work to do, and we've got your truck.
Today is your first day. Officer Bishop, you ride with the 40-year-old rookie.
Police, get out of the car! Seriously?
The Rookie premieres Tuesday, October 16th on ABC.
Some games require background. This game does not.
You walk in a team meeting and say, hey, just another game, not another game.
This game is history. From the hats to the pants.
Get to the ball, let's go!
From Pace and George.
Is gone!
To Warner and Carter. From 1912 to tonight. Here in the world's third largest stadium, the third act of an incredible three-year drama.
Pick us up, it's blocked! Touchdown, Penn State!
This game isn't cute.
I want it to be the most difficult environment in the history of college football.
This is the Big Ten on its biggest stage.
The game determines our entire season.
Don't let that thing stand in the way!
Welcome back to the past on Saturday Night Football. We have the ingredients of another instant classic. Let's get Urban Meyer's pre-kickoff comments. Tom Rinaldi joined us tonight on the Ohio State sideline.
What do you most need to see from your quarterback that lets you know he's going to handle this atmosphere?
Hey, he's a pretty cool character. You know, things don't rattle him. The thing that's going to be so key is the offense line's got to protect him. You protect him, he'll be fine.
Good luck to you tonight.
Thanks.
Chris?
Thank you, Tom. More from Urban than we expected in that situation, Kirk. Penn State won the toss. They want the football right away.
Yeah. I think they'd want to get their defense out there with this crowd, but no. James Franklin wants Trace McSorley out there and see if they can get aggressive offensively with that first possession.
See KJ Hamler already made big plays. This is his redshirt freshman season. Plenty of speed. He is the deep kick returner. Blake Haubill will get us going on Whiteout 2018. The kick is returnable. Hamler at the 3. And the Buckeye kickoff coverage team converges as they usually do. And Penn State will start from the 21-yard line. And here comes Trace McSorley. He has never lost to start here at Beaver Stadium.
Yeah, just an outstanding quarterback for this offense. Like we said in the open, a 3-year starter. And they run so many run-pass options that it basically gives the offense to chalk last. An opportunity to see the defense, late movement, either hand it off or throw it. We'll talk about that throughout the broadcast.
Miles Sanders not wearing 24, wearing number 8 to honor injured tailback Mark Allen tonight. He's had a tremendous start to the season. They fake it to him. McSorley throws a slant on first down. And there is KJ Hamler. The talented freshman gains 9. Here's that Penn State offensive line that has been maybe driven by the cause that what are they going to be without Saquon? Yeah. Just fine.
Yeah, 275 yards a game on the ground and some new skill that'll have to step up tonight, especially out at wide receiver with Polk and Jawan Johnson and KJ Hamler.
Ricky Ronnie is the offensive coordinator calling the plays. He has a 2nd and 1 call to make. And McSorley from the pocket to a wide open Brandon Polk, and Polk was left alone on that far side. He's into Buckeye territory.
Really good job these first 2 passes by Trace McSorley. Coming off the deep ball to Hamler, that time checking it down. Chase Young, remember, Nick Bosa out, 2, Chase Young, along with 86, Draymond Jones are their best pass rushers. And there's the back end, the linebackers in the secondary. They'll be tested tonight, especially in one-on-one opportunities because they play so much man-to-man.
An aggressive approach in taking the football first, and a 20-yard gain puts the Lions at midfield. And now Sanders on a direct snap. This is a wrinkle. He is spun around and knocked down after a short gain there. That was tough ball in the linebacker.
I think that these first 3 plays, Ohio State committing that hang player over that slot receiver into the line of scrimmage, into the box area, thinking that, you know what, we'll take our chances against the pass. We just don't want to be able to give up big yards on the ground to Miles Sanders and Trace McSorley. So I think you're going to see him throw the ball a lot to that slot receiver.
Number 2 is Tommy Stevens, Kirk. He's the backup quarterback. He's been injured for the first 3 games. He's healthy now, had a foot injury. He can be used in a variety of ways like that.
Yeah, it's nice to see him healthy. And, of course, next year he'll take the reins from Trace McSorley and be a quarterback, the guy that'll be getting it done. But a big physical athlete at 6'5", 240, and you can see he's athletic enough that he's not just a quarterback. They'll try to find different ways to get him on the field.
3rd and 8. See if the Buckeyes bring some pressure. McSorley, such a dangerous scrambler on 3rd down. Motion Sanders back in. They rush 4, and McSorley rolls away and cannot escape for long. Does a great job diving near the 40. Looked for Sherwick. He was going to be stopped short. He got pretty near the marker.
Yeah, it looked like Ohio State had him, and he just was able to avoid that pressure from Malik Harrison. He kind of cut back against him. And then again, remember we talked in the open about his awareness trying to get to that 1st down marker, but he looks like he's a couple yards short.
And they're apparently going to go for it. 4th and 2. Franklin making an aggressive statement if in fact they do run a play. And now Ohio State will spend a timeout. Maybe that decision to go for it caught them a bit off guard. They wanted to take a look at the formation. So Penn State, with all this whiteout enthusiasm, trying to prolong the march. 4th down when you come back. After Ohio State's timeout, Penn State's offense is back on the field. 4th and 2. An early apparent gamble by James Franklin. In fact, they run a play here.
They're waiting on us, but interesting formation with 3 receivers to the top. They have trips, and Ohio State with soft coverage right there. That's something that Trace McSorley will see pre-snap. A lot of times you just try to get a receiver out there in a bubble. See if he tries to attack left with such soft coverage from the safety Isaiah Pryor.
They had the punt team huddled up, and Franklin was actually with the punt team. So trying to maybe keep the Buckeyes guessing until the last second.
And be shocked if he doesn't go left here with the defensive alignment.
Couple attempts to get the defense to jump off haven't worked. And they run the play. And McSorley gives it to Sanders, who muscles near the marker. The spot is crucial. It's right at the 40.
Tough Borland read that quickly and got into the backfield. But how about Miles Sanders putting his left foot into the ground and cut back against him?
1st down.
Watch the linebacker get upfield right there. He forces him back inside, but then he's able to get just enough to pick up that 1st down. Good recognition by Tough Borland, but just better job by Miles Sanders of that extra effort to get the yards.
Stevens back in the game to the left of McSorley. Aggressive approach and an early gamble pays off. And plenty of wrinkles already from this Penn State offense. This is Stevens, and the backup quarterback shows that powerful frame that you mentioned. Malik Harrison, they'll bet him for a short game.
I'd love to see that again. I mean, that's a quarterback. That's a quarterback running over a linebacker, one of the more physical linebackers in the Big Ten. Watch 39 come off the block right here. Bang! Quarterback runs right over top of him.
And this McSorley fakes, and they're swarming him all over the quarterback. Drop him for a yard loss. That was Borland and Cooper.
They've got their eyes on Trace McSorley. In fact, Tough Borland on that play, he didn't bite at all on the fake there to Miles Sanders. They had a couple defensive linemen assigned, the other linebacker, Pete Warner, assigned, but Tough Borland right away, like a spy, just a beeline right after Trace McSorley.
So now 3rd and 9, 6 consecutive runs after 2 completed passes to start the game. Sanders was in the slot, now motions back. Buckeyes bring pressure. They pick it up. And McSorley delivers incomplete over the middle, trying to get the ball to Juwan Johnson, and it's 4th down.
Ohio State sat with their linebacker here, Pete Warner, right in the middle, just kind of takes away Juwan Johnson early, and by the time he sees him, it's a tough throw for Trace McSorley on the run, and even if Juwan Johnson makes that catch, he's still going to be short of the 1st down. Ohio State turning up the pressure there on 3rd and long.
Physical receiver, but Johnson has had problems with drops in the first 4 games. So KJ Hill back to receive the punt of Blake Gillikin. Man from Georgia kicks a short one, very short, and it's going to go out of bounds. So not what Penn State was looking for. They don't pin the Buckeyes deep. Ohio State's first possession will begin from right about the 20-yard line. We will see Dwayne Haskins and this Ohio State offense and all this whiteout noise coming up.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Wells Fargo. Established 1852, re-established 2018. And in part by Domino's and Coca-Cola. Hot Domino's Pizza and ice cold Coca-Cola. Order this perfect combination for game day.
Memorable meetings among the 34 they played. Ooh, 78. We were on different sides of the aisle on that one.
I was actually there. Art Schleicher's first career start, 5 interceptions.
How'd you take it?
I cried all the way home. I was 9 years old.
I was high-fiving my little brother Drew, jumping around. We grew up. I was a Penn State fan back then. All right, here comes Haskins. Told us he hasn't been nervous since sophomore year of high school. He's a very calm customer, but some deep breaths. You just saw it there, Kirk. This is new for him.
Yeah, and new for his offensive line.
Rolls out and delivers the kind of throw that's been so often successful in the first 4 games. Austin Mack gets 10 yards. How will these guys up front respond? Isaiah Prince, it was a nightmare for him 2 years ago. He's come a long way since then.
Big physical group up front. And there, J.K. Dobbins, look for him tonight to try to get on track to take some of the pressure off the pass protection.
Play action fake and incomplete as dropping it was Paris Campbell. Had a big game last week against Tulane.
Very talented group. I like Kevin Gibbons, number 30. Watch him try to get into the backfield. Sharif Miller, maybe their best edge pressure. Koa Farmer brings stability to that linebacking group.
Oruwariye is their best cover corner. And we'll see John Reed, the veteran, returning after an entire year injured.
That's a penalty on Ohio State there.
It was a problem 2 years ago. 4 false starts on this offensive line.
That's the challenge. I mean, you talk about the whiteout. Besides looking really cool for our cameras, I mean, the big thing is the crowd noise and affecting
offense. Number 59. 5-yard penalty.
Now they got Prince.
Honestly, it's a big factor. You try to simulate it the best you can with crowd noise, but until you get out here, it's just very, very different. Ohio State uses either the clap from the quarterback that's very piercing, or they'll use the center's head where he kind of looks up, and then it's 1001, and then the snap.
Haskins pats the ball, not known for his scrambling ability, gets 5 yards back to the 30, hit hard by Cam Brown.
It's one of the few times really all year we've seen Dwayne Haskins have to move off of his...
He hasn't had side of his helmet very
and see grass on his helmet. I mean, he's been throwing 7-on-7 in these first 4 weeks, and we knew coming in he's going to actually get his uniform a little bit dirty, and his helmet with some grass on it.
It's 3rd and 10. Lions bring pressure. It's a screen. Campbell in traffic is going to be stopped right there, short of the first down by Sharif Miller.
Robert Windsor in the middle does a good job. Dwayne Haskins would like a little bit more time to sell this, but because of the pressure up the middle from Windsor, he had to get the ball out there in a hurry. See Brent Pry deciding to dial up the pressure and bring in their dime package to get a lot of speed on the field. And again, like Ohio State's defense, they get the Ohio State offense off the field.
We've seen the crowd already play a part with that 5-yard penalty to really stall their momentum. So Drew Chrisman to punt. DeAndre Tompkins for Penn State standing at the 20. A deliberate delivery from Chrisman. A high kick. Fair caught back at the 22-yard line. Penn State may see that and think they can come after one later tonight. So the second possession for McSorley. They moved it 40 yards before punting the first time.
With your DirecTV More for your college football thing, number 14 Michigan trailing Northwestern all game until Karan Higdon gets his second TD of the day to give the Wolverines 20 unanswered and the lead with under a minute to play. Chris, Herbie, back to you.
All right, Cassidy, maize and blue look to be cooked. They are now up 3 in the final minute. Penn State's second possession. After a nice punt from Chrisman. Let's see if they begin to take downfield shots. They know they have to win those one-on-one battles on the edge in the passing game.
And I know they came into this game as a running team.
There is Sanders knocked down after a 4-yard gain by Malik Harrison, our Chick-fil-A impact players.
Again, watching that first drive, they want to run the ball. I get that. It sets up their play-action pass. But I think K.J. Hamler and other receivers need to be involved early. Miles Sanders, a physical back. Chase Young gets an opportunity to see what he can do. And Jordan Fuller is the leader in the back end of that Ohio State secondary.
Again, Sanders wearing number 8, not his 24. Should be inspired tonight, representing Allen. And there's a high throw on the far sideline and a nice catch made. That's Pat Freiermuth, the freshman tight end. Do they expect to make a big impact this season?
You know, and this is simple read for Trace McSorley to try to get him into rhythm. He's just going to read the corner out here. You'll see him out in the flat. Watch number 3. Right in the flat, he kind of stays up just enough, and he gets it over top of him.
And now McSorley on the keeper. Darts up the middle, breaks a tackle, cuts back, and bulldozes a defender into Buckeye territory. Ran over Jordan Fuller.
Ohio State did a good job of containing him on that first drive with Tough Borland. And this time, and this is the experience of Trace McSorley, he says he's feeling that cutback. Ohio State's defense overflowing, and he's able to cut back and get those big yards.
So Penn State, 2 possessions, twice into Ohio State territory. McSorley steps up. First downfield shot. Jump ball. And Johnson goes up and makes a spectacular one-handed catch over Damon Arnett. That's the kind of one-on-one battle they have to win.
I mean, that's catch of the year through 5 weeks. Are you kidding me? Watch him extend and one-hand that football. 6'4", 225. Damon Arnett in pretty good position, but there's nothing that he could do about that. That is a big receiver going up and making a play with one hand.
Absolutely contender for catch of the year. Odell Beckham style. Stevens in the game. Look out for the double pass. He fumbles that backward pass and has to fall on it way back at the 30. So the attempted trickery backfires.
You know, on the first series, when they threw that pass to him, it was a lateral. I'm sure they were looking to see how Ohio State would respond to that and set up this play. They're clearly trying to draw the Ohio State defense to him and then let him throw.
I asked him, you know, do you worry that this guy hasn't played all year? Will he be rusty? Or throwing him into a big situation, asking him to play a lot of roles. Didn't look sharp on that play.
I think there he just got anxious. He peeked ahead. He had an open man downfield if he caught it.
Lost 13, so 2nd and 23. It's a sideline route. Again, it's Johnson. They get some of the yards back. Johnson, who dropped an easy one in the first series, made that spectacular catch a moment ago. And they have featured him early.
He's a difficult matchup for Ohio State, not only because of the way he went up and made a play, but it's 6'4" and 225 pounds. And with the loss of some of the receivers and the tight end Mike Gesicki, you know, the baton has been handed to him as a leader of those wide receivers. He's making plays like that. That's a great way to show that leadership.
But that disastrous loss on first down sets up a 3rd and 16. It's a short sideline route, and it's Johnson again making the catch. He's far short of the marker. Okudah defended. It sets up a more makeable field goal attempt now for the true freshman kicker, Jake Pinniger.
You know, and with a route like that, boy, that's pretty good coverage there. In fact, great coverage by Okudah, but good concentration. A route like that, that's exactly what you're trying to do, is just get a little bit closer and give your kicker a better chance of making this field goal to give you the lead here in this first quarter.
Pinniger 1 of 3 in his young career. He missed a couple of them in a very sloppy field, Heinz Field, in the big route of Pittsburgh. This from 34 yards. I think the true freshman's heart is pounding right now. And it's up and just got it inside the upright. So Penn State moves it 63 yards. The spectacular one-handed grab by Johnson sets up the field goal. It's a great night to view this from the Goodyear blimp, providing our aerial coverage. When you put in the hours, the reps, and the heart, nothing can keep you from being blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven. So as you suggested, Kirk, Penn State did feature the pass much more in that possession, and with success.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to. Trace McSorley off to a good start, 6 for 7. If you looked at them coming into tonight, and with everybody thought without Saquon Barkley, how's this offense going to do? And they've changed. And you know, now they're running the ball, 275 yards a game on the ground. But this is a different challenge against Ohio State's front. And I think they're going to have to throw more, let Trace McSorley scramble, make plays, create, and let those two receivers try to win some one-on-one battles and win those 50-50 balls that they've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years here.
Yeah, Penn State's point totals the first 4 games, 45. That was the overtime win over Appalachian State, the escape. 51, 63, and 63. 20 rushing touchdowns, 10 passing touchdowns. Rafael Cheka is the kickoff man, and Jeffrey Okuda, the corner, is back deep for Ohio State. And the ball is hammered through the end zone. Ohio State will take over at the 25. Back to Cassidy for an update.
Thanks, Chris. Dr. Pepper Championship update and another top 10 matchup. Number 7 Stanford, number 8 Notre Dame. Cardinal down 7. Bryce Love finds a hole, 39 yards to tie it all up in the first. Stanford looking to win 4 straight over the Irish for the first time ever. Guys?
Bryce Love looking to have a breakout game.
How quick is he accelerating through that second and third level? You better have bad intentions if you're a safety or a linebacker, because he'll go right by you if you hesitate.
With the lead now, this crowd has even more energy. It's Weber in the game as a tailback, and they flip it in the side to K.J. Hill, and the Lions rally to tackle him for a 2-yard gain. Tom?
Chris, so much focus on these two quarterbacks, Trace McSorley and Dwayne Haskins. They actually have known and trained with each other since all the way back in high school. They shared the same quarterback coach, Bryson Spinner, in Maryland. They threw together. They ran sprints together. Haskins said he was looking forward to this game, partially because it'd be the first time he's able to share the field with McSorley in a game. We'll see how that plays out.
Well, the Lions swarm. It's a blitz, and they knock Weber down at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they're moving around their linebackers. They're crowding the line of scrimmage. You'll see Parsons right here actually moves off to the right, but they've got Cam Brown, all the linebackers anticipating the possibility of a run, and they blew that up right at the line of scrimmage, shooting their gaps.
3rd and 7.
This is where you wonder about the offensive tackles not being able to hear that snap count. They're going off to center's head, the lineman.
Empty backfield. Haskins gets good protection, but it's incomplete. Tried to find Hill on a slant. John Reed defended. 3 and out.
John Reed is a veteran coming off of an injury. Took him out of last year. Ball is thrown right there, and K.J. Hill drops it. So we've seen Ohio State have a couple drops, Paris Campbell and now K.J. Hill. That one on 3rd down. That could have been a first down for the Ohio State offense.
Already the environment playing a role, having the desired effect on this Ohio State offense that had been humming coming in here. Chrisman again. Another high, deep boot. And Tompkins, no fair catch, hammered immediately. So that is excellent execution, excellent kick, and the coverage team flies down there to stop Tompkins. For this season, the Taco Bell celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these, awarding the best student section of the year. Can you hear me? The Penn State Lions student section certainly on the watch list. I say go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell.
Hey,
see how your school competes.
You know, we see this whiteout once a year. It's so much fun, Chris. But I get questions all the time. How does other people do these whiteouts or blackouts and whatever it might be for a fan base? Nobody missed. Nobody forgot their white shirt. I mean, everybody remembers it when they come out here.
McSorley looking to throw on 1st down. Now he'll scramble. All kinds of green grass in front of the quarterback. McSorley still motoring deep into Ohio State territory. Sheffield finally knocked him out.
But you've got man-to-man coverage. I want you to watch Tough Borland because he's responsible for the quarterback, but he kind of gets lost. Everybody else in man-to-man, Tough Borland, who's supposed to be spying and being accountable for Trace McSorley, everybody else has their back to the quarterback in man coverage.
A career-long 51-yard run for McSorley. Sanders stopped behind the line. Maria?
Well, you can see James Franklin really trying to fire up the crowd. He's yelling at his players to get up on the benches and make the fans stand up and get loud every single time Ohio State is on offense. And then he's over here saying, shh, when his offense is on the field. So he's controlling this whiteout noise, guys.
He's got everything going down there.
Hype man on the sideline. Well, Penn State again in Ohio State territory. And Sanders shows the leg strength. He's not quite Saquon strong yet, but he's getting there. He's been emulating Saquon's weight room routine, and it shows.
Strong lower body. Physical runner, elusive.
So far, just 11 yards in his 5 carries, and it's another 3rd and long for Penn State.
Remember, we keep talking about it. You've seen it. Trace McSorley not just throwing here, but you better have him in your mind as far as creating, improvising, and potentially scrambling for first down yards.
They haven't converted yet. 0 for 3, and McSorley is going to be trapped and sacked. Short loss. Chase Young got him. It'll be 4th down, and now a much longer field goal attempt for Penninger.
Yeah, everybody wondered with Nick Bosa down who would step up, and this is the man right here is going to have to be one of the guys that does step up. That's Chase Young, who is a sophomore, 6'5", 265. He does a good job getting through Ryan Bates, and then also, instead of Tough Borland, this time it's Malik Harrison as a spy to be able to help out.
Penninger, a freshman from Iowa. This is about the range that he was attempting in warm-up. It's about 46 yards. Steps into it and drives it, but misses. Hooked it wide left. So Penn State has dominated 3 drives into Buckeye territory, but only 3 points.
And just did not look confident here at all. He missed that.
Yeah, he's the guy that he kicked a 52-yarder in high school. That was last year, but when you come off that tee and you kick it off the grass, it's a whole different deal in college.
Yeah, I don't even think, I mean, as soon as he hit the ball, I don't think he felt good about it. He just missed that left in a big way. Ohio State catches a break.
They've got nothing going. 23 total yards for Ohio State, but still down only 3, approaching the end of the first quarter. Dobbins running wide, chased and dropped for a loss as that Penn State defense looks like a different unit tonight.
You knew the energy of this whiteout and the home crowd would be a factor, but watch how they are chasing to the outside. There's nowhere for Ohio State to go. Look how quick Kevin Givens is. He was a high school tailback and a linebacker they have playing as a 3 technique with a great motor. Told you in the open, he's the guy to look out for. And by that time, he was chasing down J.K. Dobbins.
2nd and 13. They bring pressure again. Haskins gets it out. Almost intercepted. He threw it behind Austin Mack and near Tariq Castro-Fields, the corner.
What a difference from playing at home and even playing in a neutral site against TCU where the crowd isn't really a factor. And it's not so much affecting Dwayne Haskins, you would think, but the receivers with some drops, the communication between Haskins and his receivers, and again, the offensive line, especially on 3rd and 13.
Empty backfield again. And Penn State showing pressure up the middle. Play clock counting down. Haskins got to hurry. Just gets it off. Pressure. He gets it out. Catch made. Nowhere near the first down yardage is Austin Mack. So the chess match won by Brett Pry and his Penn State defense. And another punt forced as the seconds tick away in this opening quarter that Penn State has dominated.
And Brett Pry has to be very excited about his team. After about his defense, the Illinois game, and really these first 4 weeks, it's just been inconsistent on that side of the ball. There have been moments that have been good. They just haven't seen enough of it, and he's got to be pleased with the way they played here in this first quarter.
Total yards 155 to 27 for Penn State, but Just the one field goal to show for that dominance. End of the first quarter at this whiteout. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Set for the second quarter. Penn State leads 3-0. The Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. And as advertised, these folks who do fully believe with good reason they can make a huge difference, and they have been for the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, you and I have been here for the whiteout, and we've seen this crowd make a big difference and have a very positive impact for the home team. 1 quarter down, mission accomplished. Still a long way to go.
Talked about the game 2 years ago. Last year, Michigan came in here. They got overwhelmed by the Lions on a whiteout night. Chrisman, another deep boot. And Tompkins, kind of a risky catch back at the 15-yard line.
And that first quarter was not just about Penn State's defense and the crowd. It was also about Trace McSorley making quick decisions. He's doing a nice job of running the football when he's had a chance. It's a nice cutback here, moving the safety off the hash to the middle of the field with his eyes, and then putting it up in the air so Jawan Johnson can make one of the best catches we've seen all year. And this is great. Sees man-to-man and sees a big alley and just takes off. Picks up huge yards and runs away. Urban Meyer down there, he just can't watch. He's kind of putting his hands up on top of his head, but quick decisions tonight from number 9 for Penn State.
6 of 7. And some big runs. He's got it again. Darts up the middle and gets 4 on first down.
Well, he does such, I mean, that split-second decision. The defensive end, Jonathan Cooper, collapses down. And you're thinking, man, did he hand that off? Did he pull it out? He's reading Cooper, and because Cooper ended up taking away Miles Sanders, he quickly pulls it out. Instead of a loss, he picks up positive yards. That's the thing that I love about him that gets overlooked. It's not the big spectacular play. It's avoiding those negative plays and picking up 3 or 4 yards like that.
Play action, they pitch it far side. Losing his footing over there was Hamler as he tried to cut upfield, and Isaiah Pryor, the safety, stopped him. 3rd and long again.
Ohio State trying to dial up some pressure with Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator. Brought Malik Harrison on a blitz and trying to get the ball out of the hands of Trace McSorley, putting their corners and safeties on islands when they do that. Good play by Isaiah Pryor to be out there.
Neither side has converted on 3rd down yet. Penn State did get the 4th down conversion. He needs 6 here. And McSorley scampers free and delivers incomplete. Penn State crowd wanted a flag against Sean Wade, but the freshman, good job defending.
Sean Wade just keeps getting better and better. He's known as a corner, but because he has done such a good job, he's playing some nickel and some safety, and because of that length, look how long his arms are. He's able to get around Hamler and bring his right hand and knock that football away. Boy, his stock for the Ohio State defensive coaches keeps going up every single week.
Comes out of Jacksonville. TCU really tried to test him, and he was up to it that night. So now we'll see Blake Gillikin. And a terrible point his first time. This one is a little bit better, but a sideways bounce. And in the punting department, Chrisman getting the better of Gillikin. So Ohio State will have good field position after the 36-yard punt. There's that College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper, which will be earned on the field January 7th in the Bay Area. Semifinals on the 29th of December in Arlington and in Miami. Winner of this game figures to be tracking toward that, at least very much in the mix.
You know, Ohio State this year has had a lot of success with Dwayne Haskins obviously throwing. And you wonder, because of these conditions, if they've gone away from the running game too early. Mike Weber 1 carry, J.K. Dobbins 1 carry, really not being able to get their running game on track at all.
The only 3 running plays so far, period. And they do hand off on cue. Weber, a nice gain. He gets near first down yardage. Tom?
Chris, we've talked so often about the noise level here. A play like that will help quiet this crowd. But all week long, the Buckeyes practice with what they called noise periods, where they brought in extra speakers, the decibels approaching just below the pain threshold. Meyer said all those speakers would have to be replaced starting next week. That's how loud they tried to play it. You still can't simulate it, Chris. I'll tell you that from down here.
It's no fun in practice, I'll tell you that. Haskins from the pocket delivers, deflected and intercepted. Picked off there by Taylor, and Garrett Taylor has a convoy. Can they chase him down from behind? They do at the 30. Just the second pick this year for Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins puts this ball right on the money. And again, an Ohio State receiver, in this case a tight end, Barry, doesn't hold on to the ball. And over the middle, if a receiver's going to miss the ball, it's going to go up into the air. And Taylor is waiting there to come up with the interception.
After the interception return, several flags were thrown. There was a scuffle. May get offsetting penalties here.
It's the third or fourth time in this game Haskins has put the ball on the money only to be dropped. This one is not only dropped by Barry, but obviously intercepted.
First pick of the season for Garrett Taylor, the junior from Richmond. Strong presence of Virginians on this Penn State team. Taking a while to sort this one out. There was the scuffle after the interception return.
There are multiple fouls on both teams for unsportsmanlike conduct. At the end of the play, those fouls will all offset. Number 59 on Ohio State. Number 9 on Ohio State. Number 7 on Ohio State. Number 48 on Penn State. That is the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul on all of those players. First down.
Next one will cause them an ejection. Let's say Dan Capron had some busy housekeeping. A 45-yard return, and Johnny Dixon, good job chasing him down.
Haskins gets tied up with Sharif Miller, who incidentally, these two, through social media today, had some words. Sharif Miller came out and said, yeah, I have some guys that have played with him in high school, and they said if you just keep hitting him, he's eventually going to fold. And Dwayne Haskins hit him back with, you're poking with the wrong lion, buddy. And so they meet head-to-head right here in the second quarter and clearly have some bad blood for one another.
Sometimes social media actually carries over to the real world, and not in a good way. In the meantime, that mistake, not by Haskins, but by Barry, and Penn State is set up in Ohio State territory. But despite dominance, they've only come up with a field goal. This feels a little important. The dominance has been so complete that if they don't come out with a substantial lead, it feels like Ohio State could take momentum.
See how Penn State plans to attack after such a big turnover and getting the ball inside Ohio State territory, inside the 30-yard line. They take a shot here if they find a matchup that they like.
Quarterback Stevens is in the slot. Now he'll motion back, and they'll fake it to.
Yeah, that running game that's been so strong for them this year is going to be much tougher against this Ohio State defensive line. Draymond Jones is a guy to watch tonight, 86. Just a dominant player. And we talked about Chase Young needing to step up with Nick Bosa down. Draymond Jones is the guy who's really the warrior and the leader of that group and a dynamic playmaker as a defensive lineman, that time getting into the backfield.
Penn State behind the sticks on 2nd and 13. There's Jones. McSorley has time and delivers downfield, but way over the head of Hamler. Not close. So 3rd and 13.
Trace McSorley does so many things well, and I love right away he comes over to Brandon Polk and telling him, who, by the way, they played high school ball together from the same high school, but telling him right away the adjustment. But most teams that play Trace McSorley say that we got to keep him in the pocket. He can throw the ball, but let's make him prove that he can throw the ball from the pocket as opposed to running around improvising.
You're not really in field goal range here, and now Sanders motions back in. Direct snap. They fake it to McSorley. Can Sanders make a miss? Slips as he tries to cut toward the marker. That cost him a chance at the first down.
I think he may have had it. I mean, you had a defensive end, Jonathan Cooper, coming over But because of the block by Juwan Johnson downfield, I think at the very least he lowers his shoulder. He's got a really good shot at picking up that first down. We were down on the field before the game, and I don't know about how you felt, but it did feel slick. The field felt slick, so I'm not surprised to see some of these players losing their footing. They've had rain here all week.
So already a busy game for Pinniger, who made it from 34, missed it from 46. This from 39. And this one is up and good. He has a natural hook to his kick, so the right hash should treat him well. But still, Penn State cannot find the end zone, and the lead is 6-0. Miscues by Ohio State, mainly involving drops by the receivers. There's Campbell early, Hill in traffic, and then the one that led to the interception.
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins, when he's had time, has been able to obviously put the ball on the money, but he's going to need help tonight from his receivers. And they've been open and had some drops here early.
It's an Ohio State offense that came in averaging almost 600 yards and gained 526 against TCU's pretty good defense. 38 so far. And the kickoff by Cheka into the end zone. Back to Cassidy Hubbard for an update.
Thanks, Chris. Back to South Bend, Stanford, Notre Dame. KJ Costello to JJ Arcega-Whiteside with the snatch and just muscles it away to tie the game up at 14. That's his 8th TD catch of the season. They're in the second quarter. Back to you guys.
No, we saw plenty of that last week, that fade game with Arcega-Whiteside.
If you look at this drive chart for Ohio State in this early going, it's obviously not going the way they anticipated. And yet, at the same time, they're only down 6-0. So
Dobbins cuts it back and follows the blocker into traffic. That drive chart you talked about. 3 punts and then the pick. And then a total of 44 yards. They've only run 13 plays, half the amount that Penn State's run so far.
44 yards, Penn State with 166.
Dobbins has it again, and he hammers for a short gain. It'll be 3rd and about 2.5.
Brent Pry leaves and feeding off of this crowd and turning his defense loose. This is a defense that last week at times could not stop Illinois from running the ball.
Not once this year has Penn State stopped an opponent 3rd and 2 or less. And Ohio State's been perfect this season converting these. And they still are as J.K. hammers for a first down. It's not an imposing short yardage defense, Penn State.
No, and it's a really good push from Michael Jordan, the center for Ohio State, who played left guard the last couple years and has moved to center this year with Billy Price moving on to the NFL. Boy, he got a great push to open that right up the middle.
And so far, no problem with the snaps and all this noise. Remember, he had a bunch of low snaps against TCU. That time, Penn State converges, and it takes everything he's got for Dobbins to gain a couple.
Boy, this defensive line is playing with some enthusiasm. That time, Antonio Shelton, who's from Westerville, Ohio. Watch him collapse inside and just do a really good job of getting inside of Thayer Munford. That play just didn't have a chance because of the quickness of Shelton.
He's a bigger guy than their starters at 310 pounds. Haskins slings it and misfires. Look for McClure on a rare inaccurate pass by number 7. 3rd and 8. It was so easy through the first 4. Not so far tonight. Penn State rushes 4. Haskins flushed, chased, and delivers incomplete. That's the book on Haskins. If you can flush him out, get in his face, the accuracy comes down.
Really good job here by Penn State being able to move some people around up front. Watch the movement, able to get off blocks, forcing Haskins, as you said, off his spot. That's their whole thing. It's not about sacks, just affecting him, getting him off his spot, and taking away his chance to throw an accurate ball.
Vitor Gross-Matos came off the edge there. Now the Penn State player who is down on the field is John Reed. the veteran who missed all of last year with an injury and has finally worked his way back. You know, sometimes you get healthy physically, but mentally you don't know if you're back, and he got the start tonight and they're attending to him. Wow, Kirk, I mean, you said it, the environment was going to be the big challenge, and look at those numbers for that Ohio State offense so far.
Yeah, I mean, you knew it would be a challenge. It is for anybody that comes in. We've talked about this being one of the most difficult places to play. But what's interesting is Ohio State's offense has been executing flawlessly all year. The matchup was the Ohio State offensive line and the receivers around Haskins against this defense. And so far, you got to give Penn State a lot of credit. They've mixed up their looks, caused a lot of confusion, and done a very good job of keeping the pressure on Haskins and the Ohio State offense.
Teammates will like to see that John Reed was able to walk off. And Chrisman, who has actually punted extremely well, has kept Penn State at bay as best he can. But it's been busy for the Ohio State punters so far. Penn State has a flag on the punt and no fair catch. Tompkins is surrounded by Buckeyes and dropped inside the 15. He'll check the marker. You know, special teams have played an enormous role in this game in recent years. You know all about the blocked field goal return for a touchdown that was monstrous for Penn State 2 years ago here.
Illegal formation. Kicking team had 5 men in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be assessed at the succeeding spot. First down.
Last year, Saquon Barkley took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, but Urban Meyer's Buckeyes blocked a punt to help spark their comeback. Penn State back to work after this. Tomorrow morning at ESPN. Week 4, Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 Eastern Time. All the breaking news, injury updates. Take a look at Baker Mayfield's first start at Oakland and his Heisman brother, Johnny Manziel. I'm told
all those rookie quarterbacks starting. It's funny how everybody's on Baker now. How many of them on him before the draft? It's weird.
Well, I remember somebody who was pretty high on him.
So he's off to a good start.
And McSorley looking to throw on first down. It's low. Hamler could not come back to get it. Now, Ohio State was all over that slant.
They sure were. Jordan Fuller almost gets his hand on the ball. Like I said, when you leave that inside receiver with soft coverage, Trace McSorley is going to try to get that ball squeezed in there, and Jordan Fuller just a step away from getting in front of that and walking into the end zone.
Slant's a big part of this attack. So are downfield shots. They have the one to Johnson so far. And McSorley under pressure is going to be swarmed and sacked back at the 12. Chase Young, who needs to step in with the injured Nick Bosa, made the play.
You could say Chase Young, but it was really the entire front. Chase Young comes from here, but watch the entire defensive line. They bring a couple linebackers, and that's how you stop an athletic quarterback. The pocket collapses on him. It's not one guy or somebody he can step around. It's 3 or 4 guys that do a good job of keeping him in that pocket and coming up with a sack.
This Ohio State defense beginning to impose itself. 3rd and 17. Penn State pinned back. And McSorley flips it incomplete. That was thrown behind Johnson and makes the circus tough catch, but sometimes makes the easy ones look tough. 4th down.
Yeah, he likes that ball up and over his head.
forget right in front of his hands.
Yeah, don't throw that right there. He wants to make that spectacular catch, but even if he comes up with that catch, he's going to be well short of the first down. Ohio State's defense, we've been talking a lot about Penn State's defense. The Buckeyes defense get a very important 3 and out, especially after that punt. Expect them to get very positive field position here to start this drive.
Gillikin's had a tough night punting for Penn State. The only career block came last year in Columbus. KJ Hill could have had a return, chose to fair catch it at the 40. Ohio State still down only 6.
Now, this Penn State defensive line has had a heck of a first half, shooting gaps and being able to get penetration. When Ohio State's tried to run the ball, it's been tough. Antonio Shelton, who's again from the Columbus area in Westerville, and they got pressure the last time the Buckeyes had the ball, some confusion and just good effort up front by Gross Matos and getting after Dwayne Haskins.
So the Penn State defense has really been starting slowly. They've been tremendous after halftime. Haven't allowed more than 7 points the last 3 games combined, but tonight a fast start for that unit. Weber able to bounce out of a tackle and spin for a short gain. The concern was, would they be too hyped up, Kirk, and all this noise, all this emotion that's they're supporting them? Would they get out of their lane? Would they make mental mistakes early? It hasn't happened.
No, not at all. They've been locked in. You're right. Sometimes you play with emotion, and sometimes you get too geeked up, and you do lose your responsibilities, and you play undisciplined. It's not been the case at all.
Haskins flips it incomplete. Weber was well covered there by Gross Matos. Maria, what do you have?
Well, right now on the sideline, you can see the Penn State defense is very confident. Brett Pry, defensive coordinator, telling his team, right now we're just playing harder than they are, but finish every single play. We have more takeaways in us.
You know, Maria, they knew coming into tonight it would be different than the first 4 games where they haven't had this kind of energy. When you have this kind of energy, the obvious area that it impacts is the defense, because they play with a whole different level of enthusiasm.
Empty backfield on 3rd and 8. Haskins tries to escape, and he is not going to be able to. Not very speedy when he gets outside the pocket. Robert Windsor and the freshman Micah Parsons chased him down. 4th down again.
And Sharif Miller got in there at the end. See, this is not Dwayne Haskins' game. Penn State wants to move him off his spot. That's exactly what they were able to do. He's 6'3", 215 pounds, and he's not necessarily the most mobile guy. Penn State gets another win on 3rd down. Ohio State now 1 for 6 on 3rd downs.
Yeah, Brett Pry told us spotty. That was his one-word description of his defense so far. Unlike the veteran group last year, when you knew what they were going to deliver week in, week out, it's been a work in progress. They've made huge progress so far tonight. Boy, Chrisman just continues to boom punts. You can't do it better than that. You cannot do it better than Chrisman has so far in this first half.
Kept him in the game. And that the defense.
Knocked it dead at the 1. Let's get Chris Felica out of his den. Check how his picks are doing so far. Get the Affleck trivia question for tonight.
We had a great one. At one point, UConn led 7-0. I won't say who scored the final 49 points of the game. But for tonight's trivia question, 9th time that Ohio State and Penn State have met as top 10 opponents. It's a lot, but it's not the most. Which 2 teams have met the most often as top 10 opponents?
Would Ohio State, Michigan come to mind?
Yeah, or Nebraska, Oklahoma.
Good guess. Got to be careful here. McSorley back in the end zone of the shotgun, as Chrisman has pinned them deep. They have struggled in recent series. McSorley from the end zone delivers incomplete. It was low. They're really trying to get the ball to Hamler, but is he forcing it too much to him?
Well, and not only trying to get the ball to him, he's back there. You're in that end zone, and it's 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. He wasn't close to getting sacked, but anytime you're back in your own end zone and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, that's always a dangerous thing, especially with those offensive linemen trying to make blocks in the end zone. If they're holding, it's a safety.
McSorley, he's 0 for his last 5, gets it to Sanders, who just couldn't escape the tackle of Young. They've looked for Hamler 6 times. He had a linebacker right on that time, but he's only caught 2.
I keep thinking they're trying to get him the ball a little bit quicker, just because Ohio State hasn't put, a lot of times they haven't had anybody walked out over top of him. This time they do with Sean Wade on this 3rd down.
0 for 7 on 3rd down.
It's like Malik Harrison across from McSorley could spy on him in case of the scramble.
You see number 39 right over the center.
He's kind of showing blitz, but he could back out of that.
Play clock winding down. McSorley from the goal line, slant, and there's Hamler, the speedy freshman. They'll never catch him. KJ Hamler, touchdown. Welcome to college football. Yards.
We just talked about getting the ball to Hamler and getting it to him quicker. This route is exceptional by K.J. Hamler and froze Shaun Wade on the quick slant.
They had dominated statistically, but slogged to just a couple of field goals, and suddenly lightning strikes.
Watch this route, and he at the top of the route, he gives him a step to the left. Right now to our right, it froze Shaun Wade, and with the two linebackers blitzing, it makes it easy for a throwing lane for Trace McSorley. So the two linebackers blitzed on third down. A nice quick slant where Shaun Wade is frozen, gets separation, and the ball's low, but Hamler's able to go down and get it. And as Chris said, when Hamler gets out in the open, there aren't very many people that are going to be able to catch up to him.
5'9", they list him. He's not 5'9", 173 pounds, but he is speedy. He redshirted last year because he ripped up an ACL. He was so frustrated to sit out all of last year. He was a wizard, though, on the scout team, and now you see why.
Oh, they lost so many good receivers over the last couple years. Somebody needs to become that next guy. His parents up in the stands, part of this whiteout, are fired up.
LaTanya Gooding is his parent. His mom has made some rap videos. She salutes KJ's birthday, 18 and 19 birthdays, with these videos that she sent him, and then he posted them, and so he's become kind of a minor celebrity. Maria will have more on that, but Hamler, they've been targeting him, not successfully until that play, and you see why. So now Haskins in this offense, it was tough enough, but now this crowd will really get cranked up. Checkup. Forget about it. Going to be many kick returns first. We told you about there's a flag down, and we'll check the kick. It was back at the line of scrimmage, so maybe the Lions got a little eager. Talked about the rap video that really brought KJ to tears. We'll give you a taste of that after Don Capron does his business here.
It will be assessed from the succeeding spot. First down.
Here you go. Enjoy this.
It's gonna be amazing when you come through the door and that #1 Nittany Lion finally roars. Roar! Kitty, kitty, I'm a kitty. Meow, I'm a kitty. Roar! Meow, meow, I'm a kitty because I'm a girl. This was your dad's idea.
King of kings. Lead your people.
But Thomas was.
I think Thomas stole the show personally.
He's the hype man.
I think he stole the show.
Initially, he tried to rap. They said, no, you just let mom do this.
I like this roar, man. I thought he brought it home.
Well, the roar is louder than ever now. Haskins, they roll him out, and that's just airmailed into the bench. Wow. Maria, Hamler's a great guy, isn't he?
He's a great guy, and obviously you can see that his parents are very energetic and supportive. And the way the rap video all came together is his mom, LaTanya, and his dad, Thomas, wanted to do something special for 18th birthday. They were away from his son. He was redshirting. They thought, sing happy birthday. No, we'll rap. And you're right, Dad was not good at writing verses, so Mom took over as the head MC. Dad's the hype man.
This crowd is hyped, and Haskins just trying to get some footing. Slings it to Campbell, makes the catch. It'll be 3rd and 3.
How about this throw? Falling back because of the pressure, and it is unable to be able to step into the throw because of the pressure from this Penn State defensive line. Kind of throws it off his back foot, falling away. Still has the arm strength to get that ball out there. But there's, again, that defensive line led by Kevin Givens getting after Dwayne Haskins.
Buckeyes 1 of 6 on 3rd. They need 3. Pressure comes, incomplete. They are just accelerating his decision-making process. Everything is out of rhythm. 4th down.
And they brought the blitz from John Reed from his left. Dwayne Haskins felt that blitz and tried to go right to that receiver, Terry McLaurin. Here comes the blitz, so he tries to hit it right behind with Terry McLaurin. It's Paris Campbell on the other side, 21, who's actually open.
4th 3 and out for Myers' offense. And the dangerous Mr. Hamler is back deep to receive this punt.
First time all year you've seen Ohio State's new powerful offense having these issues.
Chrisman's boot gives Hamler a chance from the 19. He is so quick and so elusive. And Penn State back to work from the 30. All right, Bear, we gave you a couple of quick guesses there. It was Nebraska, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan. What is the athletic trivia question? Answer.
You did guess traditional rivals. It was option number 1. Ohio State and Michigan 21 times have met as top 10 opponents, maybe number 22 coming next month.
Did you come up with that?
I did come up with that.
Okay.
Why, are you criticizing the question?
No, I'm just wondering if...
I appreciate he's given us a chance this year.
I got a little hard on you last year at times, so we can figure easy in, give you an opportunity to build up the confidence, and then we get into conference play. We'll toughen up.
Oh, stop smack talking. So McSorley back to work. Downfield shot. Oh, almost a great catch by Sanders, just off his fingertips on a wheel route.
They're going to come right back to that at some point. The wheel route, which is kind of a rub. Malik Harrison gets caught up in some traffic because of the underneath route by Juwan Johnson, and they just missed. Pretty good effort here by Miles Sanders. How often did we see Saquon Barkley out of that backfield making catches for this Nittany Lion offense a year ago?
Harrison's a very freaky athlete, a linebacker, but Penn State's trying to target him in coverage. McSorley keeps it, has to duck under and fight for a short gain. Harrison again on the play.
Again, he's reading Chase Young, and Chase Young wants to get the ball out of the hands of the back, Miles Sanders. He's willing to let the quarterback keep it, and that's where the rest of the defense has to rally to be able to try to bring down Trace McSorley. But Chase Young made it very clear to the quarterback, listen, I'm taking the running back away, and that makes him hold on to the football. In the last third down, they hit Hamler on that quick slant.
Yeah, that was their first conversion all night. They need 7 here. McSorley is flushed and fires low and incomplete. Not an accurate throw. Tried to get it to Matt Hippenhammer. He was open, but here comes the punt team.
How about Trace McSorley? This is why people compare him to a Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's because of his ability to improvise. And look at this. Looks like a shortstop here. Loses his footing, throws it as he's falling sidearm, and actually gives the receiver Hippenhammer a chance for a first down. He gets flushed by Chase Young, but then he keeps his eyes downfield. He's falling before his knee touches a sidearm throw, and its receiver unable to come up with it.
Gilligan, short punt, bounces, and it's fielded on the bounce by Hill at the 25-yard line. You know, Monday Night Football, the Chiefs and the Broncos, 8:15 Eastern Time. Tess, Jason, Booger, Lisa, want to be in the stands here. Get a chance to go back.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the Broncos and the Chiefs.
Your team. That'll be a hyped up game. That'll be a good one. Penn State has blitzed Dwayne Haskins. When he is thrown versus the blitz tonight, 3 of 7 for 14 yards and an interception. You think they're going to keep coming after him until he burns them for those blitzes? They're just going to keep bringing that pressure.
Campbell joining Weber and Haskins in the backfield here. And Weber's got it, and he's going to be chased down. There's a nice play by Cam Brown, the linebacker.
They got him from behind, kind of a shoestring tackle. Again, 2 or 3 series ago, I talked about surprise that Ohio State has just been about Haskins in the passing game. Even though it's worked most of this year, still think they have to consider being able to try to pound the football and try to get the ball out on the edge with Dobbins or Weber.
And now Campbell gets the handoff, and he's hammered. That's a wrinkle, and it has not fooled Penn State at all. They want to get him touches because he's so electric, but it's going to be 3rd and long again.
Well, the way this defense is running, it's hard to get to the edge. You're almost better off trying to run that inside zone play or maybe the outside zone, but if you try to run the stretch or an outside run, it makes it very tough.
Now they all got their phones out with a flashlight on to make it a little bit more electric in here. 3rd and 7. Haskins flushed. Flag comes out, dumps it off to Weber, who's tackled short of a first down. Penn State signaling a hold.
Yeah, Isaiah Prince, the right tackle, the leader of this offensive line against Sharif Miller. He just pulled Sharif Miller down. Pulled him down by it looked like by a t-shirt.
Figured to decline this.
Holding offense, number 59. That penalty is declined, and it brings up 4th down.
We are seeing a different Dwayne Haskins tonight, Kirk. So far, the book on him that Penn State had, it's been true.
Yeah, well, they wanted to come after him, and they've had a lot of success doing that. Again, when Dwayne Haskins has a lot of success, quarterbacks get a lot of credit, probably too much credit. And when everything's not going well, you're going to look at Dwayne Haskins and his numbers and say what's wrong. But it's group effort when you do well. And as we've seen tonight, it's been a group effort when you struggle. It's pass protection, drop balls. Dwayne Haskins not throwing good balls. It's a group effort here.
A 7th punt for Chrisman already, and DeAndre Hopkins is the return man. And another good boot and a fair catch made at the 25-yard line. Did they rough him? A flag is down. Coming in there was Cam Brown, and any penalty, even the 5-yard variety, would give them a first down.
Looked like one of the Penn State players might have been blocked into the punter.
Yeah, good spot, Kirk. They'll pick the flag up.
Yeah, he did. He ended up going into Chrisman, but he was blocked into him.
So 2:44. Another look at it.
See Cam Brown coming around, and then right there, Tough Borland, and that's why the initial flag came in.
So Penn State from the 25 yards of offense, trying to add to the lead before halftime. Sanders hasn't yet broken free in a long run. You feed it to him again. You felt this was just not going to be a successful tactic. As a scrum for the ball, did it come out? Tough Borland is down there in the bottom of the pile.
That ball came out early, right at the exchange. Tough Borland looked like he hit him.
Looks like Draymond Jones is at the bottom of the pile with the ball. They're still discussing.
Yeah, I think Tough Borland knocked that ball out.
It is a turnover, the first for Penn State.
Now watch his arm, Tough Borland's arm right there. That ball right away came out. I don't think very many of the players knew that it was down. You can see Robert Landers goes for it. And it's just sitting there. Eventually, Draymond Jones picks it up.
Pat Camp gives you a look at the gnarly pile in there.
Ohio State's been waiting for a break of their own. Penn State's had all of them. Now they get a turnover at the plus 25 with 2:32 to go. See what they decide to do with this offensive attack that's been struggling.
Moving into the noisiest part of the stadium, right into the teeth of the student section. Penn State's defense has been brilliant in the first half. This is its biggest test so far. Dobbins smothered, short loss.
I mean, you could talk about should they run, should they throw, but when you're losing the battle at the line of scrimmage as badly as Ohio State is, it's really difficult to dial up ball plays when it's been so one-sided up front. The only answer, I mean, you're trying to run, there's nowhere to go. The quick throw is probably the only answer right now because it gets the ball out of Haskins' hands quickly and gives the receivers a chance to win one-on-one.
Penn State shows pressure again. Haskins backpedals and flips. Dobbins on a screen, has blockers. Dobbins in the clear, in the end zone. And the Buckeyes quickly cash in the fumble recovery. 26 yards to cut the lead in half.
And that's a good answer with a team that's got their ears pinned back and blitzing and bringing pressure and winning the line of scrimmage. They tried a couple of these screens earlier. This time he had more time to bait them, kind of lure them towards him, and then flip the ball over the defense into J.K. Dobbins' hands. And that's a huge play for that Ohio State offense.
Looks like it's Sharif Miller, fine Penn State defensive end, who's on the field. Dobbins' third touchdown this season.
A couple of the other screens, when Haskins has dropped back, he's been forced to throw it right away. This time he's able to continue to drop and get all four of those defensive linemen to him, and then eventually he flips it over top of their heads.
Is there a progressive pylon cam? I mean, you just had a feeling at Penn State couldn't continue to build this lead, that Ohio State was only one play away from getting right back in it, and it's happened.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State has a chance to, as you say, if they hit this extra point down 6. Buckeyes offense capitalizes after tough Borland makes the big play, and it knocked the ball loose.
Nuremberger, who's been perfect on extra points, remains so. So the fumble recovery was Borland punching the ball out of Sanders' hands. Draymond Jones on the bottom of the pile, first Penn State turnover. And this Ohio State offense that has looked rattled and overmatched throughout the first half takes the good field position. And a great call, as you said, against the blitz. Borland, a guy who's a sophomore, Kirk, and the other veteran captains decided they wanted him to become the 7th captain of this team. That's a tremendous honor. You, as a former captain yourself, as a sophomore, to be voted by your teammates.
You don't see that happen at any school, and especially at Ohio State. It tells you about what his teammates think about him. Of course, he had an Achilles injury. Started 9 games last year and has worked his way back from that Achilles injury. And early in the year, he was just kind of coming back slowly, and the last few weeks playing a bigger and bigger role, and tonight obviously not coming off the field at all.
That's a tough injury. 6 months ago, had the surgery. It took him a long time, as you said, the mental part of the recovery. Sometimes just as challenging as the physical part. So Penn State with a minute 50. They do have 3 timeouts when they know that Ohio State will get the football to begin the second half. Elbows kickoff will be taken by Hamler at the 2. And KJ knocked down short of the 20, as returners usually are against Ohio State. Aerial coverage again provided by Goodyear from the end zone to the uprights. Nothing comes between hard work and a goal. Goodyear, more driven. You can stream all the college football games all season long on ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today. Just download the app and visit ESPNplus.com.
This offense can strike in a hurry. We saw that with the throw to Hamler early. With 3 timeouts in a minute 45, they got to be thinking about trying to get points here.
Surley, 8 of 16. Looking to throw on first down and delivers complete right at the first down marker. That's Johnson who made the circus catch, but has had a couple of drops tonight. Beat Arnett that time.
Yeah, it's just such a big body. And when he's between the defender and the quarterback, you just put that ball up high, and it's so hard for Arnett to be able to work through that big physical body at 6'4", 225.
And McSorley took a brief look downfield, then takes off running and dived for 8 yards. So Penn State a good start to this drive, and again the 3 timeouts if they need them.
Yeah, quick throw, then a quarterback draw. He cuts in behind the offensive lineman up front to be able to pick up a few more yards.
76 rushing yards from McSorley, had 51 on that career long run in the first quarter. Now delivers to Johnson again. It's a short gain out to the 40. May look to spend the first of their timeouts here, or not made the tackle.
Yeah, with that first down, the clock will stop. There's really no need to use that timeout. You probably want to try to hold on to those.
And they are. Clock winding now, 53 and counting. Buckeyes show pressure, and McSorley is flushed and just fires it into the ground. 42 seconds left.
Well, everybody wanted to know what Ohio State could do without Nick Bosa, who's one of the best defensive players in the country, and he's out at least until early part of November. And we talked with Greg Schiano this week, Chris, on our call, and he said, you know, it's a big opportunity for Chase Young. It's a big chance for him to step up. We know about Draymond Jones, but now you're going to see Chase Young step up. And you see Draymond Jones, a defensive tackle, but when you get into obvious passing situations, they're now, with Bosa down, they're now moving him to the outside. He's lined up here as a right defensive end.
It's hard work chasing down McSorley. You saw Jonathan Cooper, a starter, getting some rest on the sidelines. 2nd and 10. They have the timeout so they can run the ball, and Sanders just plows behind a blocker, gets to midfield, and now with 36, Franklin will spend the first timeout. This week's college football rankings brought to you by Goodyear. Boy, was Clemson With Kelly Bryant deciding to transfer, Trevor Lawrence knocked out of the game in apparent head injury. And on comes Chase Bryce, a third stringer a week ago. They escape against Syracuse.
How about that effort by Chase Bryce and Dabo Sweeney and the Tigers to be able to find a way to win against Syracuse, who beat them a year ago. Go down let's look at Stanford and Notre Dame in a very close game with Stanford trailing 21-14 at the half, and Auburn taking care of Southern Miss.
You're just one hit away from the entire complexion of the playoff race changing when these quarterbacks go out.
And this game, not only big tonight and this week for those rankings, but the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those games in August you pointed to as one of the biggest games in the country.
It's a 3rd and 2 play, and McSorley running and being hit. He's going to be marked short, so it's 4th down. Pete Werner stopped him, and that is not what Franklin was looking for. A promising start to the drive, but a nice play by Werner to stop the quarterback short.
Yeah, let's take another look at this. Very good effort there by Pete Werner to keep him short. Good hustle also by Malik Harrison. It's always about where the football is when you see the running back or quarterback go down.
Excellent recovery, because it looked like McSorley was going to get the first down. Werner just made a quick closing move.
Now, he's a former safety that they've moved to linebacker, more of a special teams guy a year ago. And it looks like Trace McSorley going to the sideline. So that play by Werner saves Ohio State from trying to defend Penn State from getting the field goal.
Yeah, huge stop. The sophomore, KJ Hill, trots out there. You're looking at one of the co-captains on this Penn State team, delivers a high punt. And Hill makes the fair catch at the 12. So just 20 seconds to go before halftime. You're not feeling like Urban Meyer is going to get too adventurous here.
No, I don't think so. I think they'll consider themselves fortunate with the way that about the first probably quarter and a half went.
When the headset comes off, coach tips his hand there. We're going to get a kneel down here, and Penn State will hold Ohio State to 96 yards of total offense in the first half. But that fumble set up the screen pass to Dobbins, and Ohio State will feel extremely fortunate to be down just 6 at the break. Lions almost 300 yards offense, but only the 13 points to speak for it. Let's get Urban Meyer's reaction to this first half. Tom Rinaldi standing by.
Chris, thank you. Urban, down less than a score after all the struggles of the first half. How do you build on whatever momentum you've created offensively?
Better get something going offensively. We get the ball to start the second half and playing a good defense, but we got to block them. We're not blocking them. We're not throwing and catching. So A to Z on offense.
Appreciate the time. Thanks, Urban. Maria.
All right, Coach, what have you seen from your defense holding Ohio State to less than 100 yards of total offense?
We're doing a great job in stopping the run, which has been critical. But the other thing is probably more importantly is we're able to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. He's throwing off his back foot. We're getting pushed in his face, got people around him, and it's affected him so long.
What do you want to see from your offense coming out in the second half?
To be honest, I'm pleased with everything except for the turnover. You can't turn the ball over, especially in your own end of the field, or we'd be in a much different situation right now.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Turnovers are 1-1. Haskins, under the pressure Franklin mentioned, just 7 of 16 for 62 yards. And a bit eventful first half in Happy Valley. The halftime report, Kevin Negandhi, Mac Brown, and Jonathan Vilma coming up after these messages. The top 10 matchup. Undefeated Ohio State, undefeated Penn State.
This is the best scene in the country. I challenge you to find a better scene.
Set for the second half. Saturday Night Football, presented by Wells Fargo. And this presentation of the Big Ten on ABC. Rare September collision of these two teams, and the whiteout as advertised. More than just a photogenic frenzy. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, it's been impactful, but we've seen this Ohio State team show resilience. They were down 8 against TCU, scored 3 touchdowns in 4 minutes. It was a Draymond Jones takeaway, just like tonight, that played a big part. So they get the ball to start the third quarter.
Just as you're talking, I'm looking at the third downs. Both teams have converted 1 third down. Ohio State has 4 first downs on a night. This can be a game of adjustments. If you're at home right now, sit back and enjoy this second half, because you have 2 great head coaches and 2 great coaching staffs. They're going to try to make some adjustments to try to get things going here for both their offenses in the second half.
An almost 3-to-1 edge in yardage for Penn State. Ohio State held to 93, and they'll start from the 25 after another touchback. Our Pacific Life game summary: a very aggressive approach by Penn State, and Trace McSorley was very sharp, throwing the ball and running the ball. They kept getting into Buckeye territory, but kept kicking field goals. And then late lightning strike to K.J. Hamler. Longest pass play the Buckeyes have ever given up, 93.
Yeah, Trace McSorley has had his moments, and Ohio State took advantage of this break late in the first half. Tuck Borland knocks the ball loose. Draymond Jones jumps on top of it, and a couple plays later, against all that pressure, Ohio State goes with his screen to Dobbins and gets their only touchdown of the game.
Dobbins had the touchdown reception, but Dobbins and Weber combined just 30 yards rushing in the first half. Can they get the run game going? They expected to be able to run the ball much better than this. Dobbins tries to get the edge, just cut back in a nice first down game to Tom Rinaldi.
Well, Chris, it was a different Dwayne Haskins after that late first half score. He came back to the bench, immediately went to the offensive line group and began to exhort them to say, now we begin to go. Talking to Urban Meyer as he came back in, he just said, essentially, we couldn't have played any worse than we did in the first half, and yet we're still down only a score. We got to build on the momentum and have this opening possession do something. Chris?
Campbell on the screen, breaks free. Paris Campbell, very dangerous tackle there by Jan Johnson.
Reading between the lines from Tommy's report, I'm guessing that offensive line's manhood was challenged by Urban Meyer and by the Ohio State offensive staff. Because when he walked off with Tommy, he said, listen, it's hard. What are we going to do? Like you and I talked about, when you're losing the battle at the line of scrimmage.
Haskins on first down, look downfield, now throws short to Campbell, who slips a tackle again and is knocked down near midfield. Got 8.
Good patience there by Haskins to check down and get the ball and take the positive yards. And on 1st and 10, going back to that first half for Haskins, he attempted 1 pass over 10 yards or more through the air. Just 1 in that first half. Everything underneath.
Dobbins, second effort, gets about 3. So many of his passes this year have been behind the line of scrimmage, 27 of them, and so many 0 to 10. That's a big reason for the high completion percentage.
Yeah, of course. But when he has taken shots downfield, you could pull out the tape. I mean, it's one after another. They hit the receiver right on the money, right in stride.
Is this a deep shot? Haskins looking, firing to Mack over his head. He was well covered by John Reed.
It's a bigger receiver, Austin Mack, going up against John Reed, and tries to sell that to the outside, but the experienced Reed in pretty good position there, but to no avail. Ball thrown up and over top of Austin Mack.
Penn State's only got 1 sack for -2, but they have pressured him frequently. Taking that soft cushion. That's a catch by Benjamin Victor. It'll set up 3rd and short, just 2.
Tight coverage there by Penn State, but Ohio State, again, this is the best looking drive. Remember, they scored a touchdown after getting the ball in positive territory. It's the best looking drive they've had all night.
And on 3rd and 2, Dobbins plows. He's near the marker. And they're going to walk in and place the ball. Looks like short. Just. So it's 4th down.
Good Isaiah Prince telling the coaches.
Now they're lobbying hard. The ball at the Penn State 35.
In the old days with J.T. Barrett, this is a pretty simple call. J.T. Barrett on a power right up the middle. And now you're talking about trying to get it to J.K. Dobbins more than likely.
He's lined up 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Dobbins gets it, and he is stopped and will not make it. Jan Johnson, the linebacker, filled. And Penn State's defense, let's wait for the spot here. Now they're giving the spot a little bit farther than I thought they were going to. So hold on, they're talking about it. They have signaled first down. Wow, this is something they can review.
Wow,
they can review this. Let's see, where did Dobbins get you? Did he get the yellow line?
He meets the middle linebacker, Jan Johnson.
The ball did not look to me like it crossed that first down line.
Here's a great view. Yeah, it's all about the football. It's not his body. It's where is the football.
And Rick Nelson, who's the replay official for this Big Ten crew, this is a pivotal review. We'll get Dave Kataya's thoughts on this when we come back. Is it a turnover on downs or a first down at the 35 for Ohio State? It's a first down, Ohio State. The call stands. Not enough to overturn the signal of first down on the field. Dobbins right there, just as he turned, got the ball at that yellow line. It's a pretty good spot by the line judge.
If he doesn't make that turn, the ball in his left arm would not been able to get across that first down marker. So he was hit by the linebacker Jansen and turned his body with the ball luckily in his left arm for him.
3 first downs on the drive, 4 in the entire first half. And there is a keeper by Haskins. It's rare. Ball came out. He gets it back. Very few design runs. If I look back at every time he'd run the ball, the touchdown against TCU was the only true designed run he'd had in the first 4 games.
Yeah, and it looked like his knee may have been down even before the ball went out. But as you said, he ended up recovering it. Yeah, he's just not a threat. It's just not his game. That's why this offense has changed so drastically from what it was with J.T. Barrett. I mean, he's more of a distributor.
Set the game clock to 11:50 and wind it on my signal.
I think, if anything, they sprinkle that in there just to let the Penn State defense know that it's a possibility. Because on that fourth down and short, they weren't even considering Dwayne Haskins. They were knifing in towards J.K. Dobbins.
Didn't start the clock for the previous play. Now they've fixed it. 2nd and 5. This is the tougher, noisier end of Beaver Stadium for visitors. Dobbins runs back and squirts for another first down inside the Penn State 25.
Interesting cat and mouse game going on right now between Ryan Day, the offensive staff. You saw Dwayne Haskins kind of look over, make a check, adjust at the line of scrimmage, and on the other side after that check, Brent Pry, the defensive coordinator, got his defense into a different look.
Now Haskins pitches far side. Hill has blocks on the edge and is out near the 15. He picked up 8.
It gives him the option to either hand that ball off or get it out quickly out on the edge to K.J. Hill. Positive yards for Hill. Gives Ohio State a much better chance here.
12th play of this drive to start the third quarter. They moved it 59 yards. Haskins, one-handed grab. Hill cuts it back and knocked down inside the 5 by Brown. What a catch.
What a catch, but what a block by Luke Farrell, the tight end, who opens it up by just pushing a defender. Wow, that's a great effort, just one hand. And there's Farrell's block, 89. It just opened that up, and they're going now to those quick throws with receivers and tight ends out on the edge blocking. That's their answer. Get the ball out quickly away from that pressure that Penn State's been putting them on and let those receivers make quick catches and then do some damage after the catch.
Cam Brown made the tackle, then a teammate's foot hit him in the head after the play, and he's slow to get up. This Penn State defense, which had been dictating, really dominating with the help of this big crowd in the first half, suddenly finds itself backed up. And Ohio State, chance to grab a lead here.
Talking about a 12-play, 71-yard drive. By far their best drive. And we talked about it's a game of adjustments. Ohio State's adjustments were to get the ball out to these wide receivers. Those quick passes to the outside and try to get blocks from those other receivers. See if that can open up some running lanes. It's kind of really an extension of the running game. You see these college offenses just throwing it outside quickly. It's almost like a sweep. This is what the game's about. You get into the red zone, you're going to kick field goals, you're going to score touchdowns.
They've been very efficient down here in the first 4 games. A bobbled snap, but Dobbins doesn't matter. Scores standing up. 2 touchdowns for J.K. Dobbins. And the Buckeyes a PAT away from the lead.
We could talk XOs and adjustments. Bottom line is the line of scrimmage. It was awful for Ohio State in the first half. And whatever Tom Rinaldi talked to Urban Meyer about and whatever they said, I said you could call it challenging their manhood. That was a different looking offensive line as Dwayne Haskins handles that snap, and somehow Dobbins is able to get that push up front and into the end zone.
Nuremberger for the lead. The blocking was so good, it didn't matter that the snap and the handoff were sloppy. And Ohio State is in front by 1.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Wells Fargo on ABC, is brought to you by the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. Voya Financial, helping you to and through retirement. And Samsung QLED TV, the official TV of ESPN College Football.
LeVar Arrington, Penn State great, providing some souvenirs. But it's Ohio State and a pair of J.K. Dobbins touchdowns that it's erased a 13-0 deficit. Lead by 1. Our Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. 13 plays, 75 yards. They converted a 4th down by an inch or 2. The replay holding the verdict on the field. Took 4:38 to do it.
How about Haskins, Dobbins, and company in the first half? 30 plays, only 93 yards, and they go for 75 in that first drive.
Here's Hamler, who scored Penn State's only touchdown. Tries to make a play on kick return. And a flag comes out as he's knocked down at the 20. So Penn State figures to be backed up. And now another flag, a very late flag coming in well after the play as both teams were being separated. These officials, it's not a glamorous life. They're staying in a place that in this area, it's not the Four Seasons. I promise you, these guys are, they do good work, and it's not glamorous. Dave Katai can tell you. this guy, top referee in the Big Ten.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding by the receiving team, number 14. That foul is assessed half the distance to the goal. After the play was over, personal foul. On the kicking team, number 7. That foul is assessed 15 yards. First down, Penn State.
Well, that'll drive Meyer crazy because that holding penalty would have backed Penn State up, and then Mitchell, personal foul way after the play.
Yeah.
Left cross there.
Young linebacker trying to get some time in. Anytime, obviously, you take a swing at a player, the referee's going to catch that, especially late after a play, after the whistles have already blown.
Penalties have not played a real big role so far. That moves the ball to the 24. You can see Meyer hot about that mental mistake.
That's how you get taken off special teams right there.
Of course, the boss man does run the special teams at Ohio State. All of a sudden, a very different feel to this game. And Sanders has yet to get going, tries to bounce it, and he'll be smothered for a 4-yard loss by Jonathan Cooper and others. Maria.
Well, Chris, James Franklin recognizes that his offense has to finish drives, so he wants to be more aggressive in the second half with the play calling. They want to take some shots downfield. He says they also have to find a way to slow down this pass rush. That might mean using a little bit of tempo and quick game, but it's something that they'll be focused on here in the second half.
And Maria, Sanders coming in had not been stopped behind the line a single time this year in 71 rushes. That has changed, and now McSorley tries to run it and gets nothing. Draymond Jones plugging the middle, 3rd and long.
We could talk glitz and glamour and up-tempo offenses and RPOs. Again, this is one of those throwback games. It's going to be won or lost at the line of scrimmage. And Ohio State, these first 2 plays defensively, they have just been able to get penetration, and they're pushing Penn State's offensive line back.
Penn State had done much better in 3rd down this season because McSorley told us they weren't stressing 3rd down, just executing. There's been a lot of stress tonight. and a lot of 3rd and longs. And McSorley's pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. That was Chase Young getting a hand up. And the Buckeyes with the lead now force a 3 and out.
You know, Chase Young is 6'5". The young sophomore, 6'5", 265 pounds, known as a pass rusher, and does a very good job of knowing that McSorley is undersized, can't quite get there to be able to affect him. So instead, he just gets his big hand up and knocks the ball down.
He was targeting Hamler, who hadn't yet come out of his break, so I don't know if that was going to be complete anyway. And now Gillikin. It's a low boot, and it's going to give a chance for K.J. Hill. It takes it at the 40, has momentum going forward, and returns it for about 13 yards. There is a flag down, and now another flag and a scrum on the Penn State. A couple players tied up on the Buckeyes bench there.
Antonio Shelton has a late hit with Penn State, but there was a flag on the other side towards the Penn State sideline well before that.
Figure that would be on the return team.
A push in the back or a hold.
It's getting feisty here, Kirk.
Yeah. Shelton had the late hit, 55.
So this figures they'll back the penalty up, and then they'll enforce 15 yards, and that was a shot to the head on Hill there.
Remember Shelton again from Westerville, Ohio, a Columbus suburb. Probably pretty amped up tonight to go up against the Buckeyes.
Here's Dan Capron.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding. Number 13, 10-yard penalty. After the play was over. Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. Number 55 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So they don't signal targeting, just a 15-yard penalty on the Ohio native, Shelton.
Urban Meyer fired up with some of his players.
Ball will be spotted at about the Ohio State 40. Buckeyes back to work up 1. Wondered if the booth would buzz down and review targeting on Antonio Shelton, and they did. And the backup defensive tackle has been ejected from the game. Here's the shot right to the helmet of Hill as he was well out of bounds in the Ohio State bench. So the backup tackle, they lose some depth in that defensive front. And the Buckeyes start from the 44, and this is Weber who's trying to get going. And Mike Weber does truck for a first down into Penn State territory at the 44. Buckeye running game is now moving.
Yeah, again, a different feel at the line of scrimmage, and great patience by Mike Weber working his way through there and finding a couple creases.
Penn State looking to the sidelines. Ohio State using some tempo now. Campbell on the edge has blockers. And all of a sudden, this is a completely different Ohio State offense.
Yeah, running the football, the up-tempo, getting Penn State's defense on its heels, and a lot of those quick throws try to tire the Penn State defense out, making them run sideline to sideline.
Campbell's made 5 catches, hasn't yet broken a long one. Weber knocked down. Nice play by Sharif Miller off the edge.
This is Urban Meyer over the years at Bowling Green and Utah and Florida and now Ohio State. This is kind of in his wheelhouse. He really challenges his team when a defense is getting after him to really go up tempo and get him on their heels.
Haskins play action. Surveying the field, rolling out, and just dumps it at the feet of the receiver. Miller finally chased him.
One of the few times he's had time to throw, but very good coverage downfield by the Penn State secondary. He had nowhere to go with the ball. The way this game feels here to start this second half, pretty big third down here for both Ohio State's offense and the Penn State defense.
Buckeyes just 1 of 9, need 6. Are in field goal range. K.J. Hill now motions out, empty backfield. Penn State brings pressure. Haskins screen again to Hill, who has blockers. Another good call, beats the blitz, and the Buckeyes are in their red zone. First down.
Yep, they beat the blitz. They brought the freshman Micah Parsons right here, and then you're able to get right underneath that with that screen. Linebacker comes, get the ball off, and then you've got a convoy leading K.J. Hill to the first down.
And now Wildcat with Hill, who takes a direct snap, and the Lions swarm him. And knocked him down for a 4-yard loss. Keith Givens, that quick tackle, got in there.
And Kevin Givens as well is just such a talented player.
Kevin, excuse me.
Yeah, he has been a handful for the Ohio State interior, the center and the 2 guards, just because he's able with his quickness to shoot gaps. When he's healthy, he's one of the finer defensive linemen. And the inside, you'll see. Like the left tackle from Ohio State may have moved there, Mumford.
So they convert in that 3rd and 6, get into the red zone.
Full start. Offense. Number 75. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And then they use the wrinkle, and it loses a few yards, and now the false start.
See, Urban Meyer, who told us this week he's letting Ryan Day and Kevin Wilson and the staff call plays. Now he's there to help and make suggestions, but in the past, he typically is right on the front lines calling the plays. And now
he doesn't have the mic in front of the mouth. That's a good sign for Day. Weber, strong run, gets back to the 16. Warrior made the stop. It's 3rd down again. They are behind the sticks. They need 11. This does feel important for this Penn State defense, which has been backpedaling throughout the 3rd quarter. Haskins gets good protection, lost for the end zone, but it's well over the head of K.J. Hill, and 4th down.
I think this defensive staff been waiting for John Reed to kind of have that welcome back moment. He's playing pretty well tonight, 29. Veteran guy who's been around, played a lot of ball, very tight coverage, especially with safety help over the top from Garrett Taylor. That is a tough ball to get in there for Dwayne Haskins, but well covered again by Reed.
Sean Nurnberger, who's 3 of 4 this year. Buckeyes haven't kicked many field goals. And he drives this one right through from 33. There's a flag down, so hold everything. May have to re-kick it.
Like one of the Ohio State protectors grabbed the face mask of a Penn State player coming around the edge.
Personal foul. Face mask. Offense, number 89. 15-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
That was Zach McPherson who came around the edge, number 14, and Luke Farrell, you can see in the bottom, he did get it face mask.
And he kind of put his left arm out right there on the edge. Watch him put his left hand out and just gets up high and grabs onto the face mask. Good catch, actually, by the official there to see that on the edge.
How big is this? So the field goal was good from 33. And now Nurnberger's going to line up, and this is going to be from 48. His career long was right here as a true freshman of 49 yards. And this is not going to be good. So the personal foul takes the field goal off the board, and Ohio State comes up empty, and the lead is still 1. Perhaps a play to remember.
The way this game is gone, that's a big play. It's something to remember. Urban Meyer wants to know who's it on. Perfect snap, perfect hold, and just a miss hit.
Something about psychologically, you go out there as a kicker, you've knocked it through with confidence from 33. All of a sudden, you're 15 yards back. Got to approach the kick totally differently.
Just left it out there.
And Penn State will take over at the 31, trying to reignite this offense, which is stalled since the Hamler 93-yard catch and run. McSorley incomplete, threw it into traffic trying to find Hamler, and Isaiah Pryor defended. Cassidy, an update.
Thanks, Chris. Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update number 5, LSU hosting Ole Miss. Former Buckeye Joe Burrow finds Jamar Chase. What a grab. 21-yard score. That was their first. They're now at 14-3 in the second, guys.
Buckeye fans curious to see how Burrow progresses. LSU still playing well. 2nd and 10. They flip it in the flat. And the catch is made by Sanders. Worked hard all summer on his hands. Wants to be a part of the pass game the way Saquon was last year.
Yeah, he's come a long way. And I think anybody who's been close to the Penn State program has known about Miles Sanders, but when you're behind Saquon Barkley, it's hard to get opportunities. But the few times we did see him, you could see the talent that he had, and not surprised at all. He's off to such a good start this year.
Where can Ricky Ronnie look for success on third down, Kirk? It's been a nightmare tonight. 1 for 11.
Ohio State tightens up their man coverage. Really pressed across the board here. Jawan Johnson on a crossing route from the bottom. Something to watch.
Play clock at 3. McSorley was looking that way. Nobody open. Now scrambles and tries to run for it and will not get it. Caught from behind by Malik Harrison. That linebacker showing had freaky athletic ability. Not many linebackers could run McSorley down like that.
Well, when you play press man, somebody's going to have to account for the quarterback, and it's Malik Harrison. You can see him waiting, and then takes off. And you're right, McSorley can go for a quarterback, and it gives you an idea of how fast Malik Harrison is at 6'3", 245 pounds, being able to bring him down from behind.
He's a guy that wins the dunk contest that all teams have. He can throw it down despite that, weight.
Said a couple weeks ago, a great high school basketball player.
This is Gilligan's best punt. Finally gets one to turn over. Booms it, and Hill all the way back to the 10-yard line for a fair catch. 53-yard punt. The All-State bus. Curtis making the trip here to Happy Valley, keeping us up to date on all the mayhem. Kirk, what's the All-State mayhem moment today?
I think it was a mayhem moment was his 4th down play, 4th and 6. Chase Bryce, who 2 weeks ago was a 3rd-string quarterback, with everything that happened with Kelly Bryant leaving the team. Trevor Lawrence goes down. Clemson's on the ropes. They might lose. It's 4th and 6. If they don't convert there, they lose. And the young man delivers for them, and they go on to pull out a narrow victory over Q.
It's a 94-yard drive for the rocking chair for that young man. Dobbins just plows into heavy traffic on the left side. It's Penn State defense now, after the excellent punt, trying to do their job and pin Ohio State back.
We talked about Ohio State's adjustments coming out at halftime, challenging their offensive linemen, running the ball, going more up-tempo, quick throws to the outside. Let's see what Brett Pry and James Franklin come up with.
Haskins in play action, a long throw over the head of McLaurin. He's got the arm to get it there, but airmailed it a little bit that time.
It's the first time in his career that he's faced this adversity, and it's the first time in his career we've seen him unsettled, out of rhythm. Even when he has time, he's not throwing accurate balls to his receiver.
3rd and 9. Lions gave the look of blitz, Kirk, then back out. Pre-snap chess match. They don't blitz. Haskins has time, and now the time suddenly evaporates. He flips it out to Hill. He makes the catch, but well short of the first down. Shaka Toney, wearing number 97 to honor his teammate Buckholz, made the pressure.
Again, great coverage downfield. He had time. He came off of his primary. He looked for his 2nd, then his 3rd option, which is kind of a check down to K.J. Hill. So Shaka Toney's able to get there, but it was the coverage on the back end that allowed that to happen.
So the good punt by Gilligan flips the field, the 3 and out. And now Tompkins, the punt returner, tries to set Penn State up in good shape. Chrisman had an outstanding first half at his goal line. Gets this one up quickly, but it's a low boot. And Tompkins has a chance, although the coverage is excellent. They knock him down right there. Negative yardage. McLaurin, as the starting receiver, came flying down there. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Keep pushing day in and day out on the field and on tires you can trust to help you go the distance. Goodyear, more driven. Well, last year's whiteout game, the route over Michigan set the Beaver Stadium record. And as expected, Kirk, they have broken it tonight. 110,889, the world's 3rd biggest stadium.
This crowd.
The biggest stadium in the world, by the way, is in North Korea, allegedly, 150,000.
You been there?
No, that's what they tell me.
Oh, okay.
If I've been there. McSorley has room. gets a block. And Trace McSorley, a little high step. Suddenly Penn State's motoring again behind the quarterback run.
And design quarterback draw. Michael Minute actually does a good job with a block right there. And then you can see the blocks downfield. The young freshman, Freiermuth, gets a block as well.
He pancaked a man.
He sure did.
23-yard run. And a 51-yarder in the first quarter. Play action. McSorley steps up again, looking to run, and will scoot out for a short gain. Well, you talk about the frustration of a defense. James Franklin said every time he goes into his own defensive room, they are just driven crazy by quarterbacks who can scramble when the play is otherwise well defended.
Yeah, well, that's what he does to every defense he faces. You have things covered, and you always have to account for that quarterback. They've been trying to use a spy tonight to prevent that from happening, but he's still gotten out.
And it's Hamler trying to get the edge. A flag comes in. Isaiah Pryor eventually drove him out. And it's going to be against Penn State on the block. And looks like Freiermuth, the young tight end who just made the great block on the run by McSorley, was guilty of a hold.
Yep. Looks like he tangled up with Pete Werner.
Holding. Offense, number 87. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
See the good and the bad of a true freshman.
Yeah, 87 right there.
No question about that.
Werner actually trying to set the edge, not allowing Hamler to get outside of him, and was in pretty good position.
It's been the story. Penn State's moved into Ohio State territory time and again. This is the first time in the third quarter, but then they get backed up. 2nd and 19. Pressure. McSorley lost it downfield for Hamler, and well defended and broken up. Isaiah Pryor right with the speedy freshman. And there is a flag. Didn't see it at first.
They got a flag on Pryor, and we'll have to take a peek at this. I always talk about the head of the defender. If he looks back,
pass interference. Defense number 12. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
When you're beaten like that and your head doesn't get turned around, that's a quick indicator to a referee that if there's any contact at all, they're going to look for a reason to throw the flag. There wasn't a ton of contact there. The ball was underthrown, but because he didn't look back and he was beaten off the ball, that's why they made the call.
Tough one because Hamler had to slow up with the underthrown pass, but it gives Penn State a first down at the 33. Here comes an all-out blitz, and McSorley gets it out, and it was behind Brandon Polk. He had just barely turned. The pressure forced the quick throw.
I tell you, that's a big-time throw, and that's a throw that Polk has got to be able to hold on to. Ohio State brought pressure, and Trace McSorley felt that pressure, anticipates that his receiver Polk's going to win one-on-one, and he did. Ball's thrown a little bit on the left shoulder. But because he was so open, because he did a good job of getting separation, man, he's got to secure the football.
Veteran receivers should know the blitz is coming and should look for his quarterback to get the ball out quickly. And McSorley flips it to Sanders in the flat. He cannot make a man miss. Pete Werner's having a terrific night. Said he's a converted safety. He plays linebacker with that kind of quickness.
When you throw back into the boundary like that, you're convinced that your back is going to beat that linebacker one-on-one in the open field. But Pete Werner took that away. He kind of got rid of that cushion. He closed in with speed, and then he's able to get to Miles Sanders before he could try to shake him.
3rd and 13. And Penn State not in field goal range, so they try to come up with something shorter to give Pinniger a better chance at a field goal.
Look for the middle of the field is where they try to attack here against this man coverage.
And they hand it to Sanders, and Sanders bulldozes, makes a cut, is knocked down just short of the marker at the 24, so it's 4th down. Does Franklin go for a field goal and the lead, or go for it?
He's not blinking. In fact, they're already ready to snap the ball. They're lined up, ready to go.
Correction. The ruling on the field is that the runner is short of the line to gain. It's 4th down.
Ohio State catches a break there with the official clarifying that it was not a first down. It blows the whistle. Ohio State's able to get a man on and now off the field to change their personnel. Wow.
So initially, I didn't see someone signaled a first down on that. It's clearly a yard short, but you're right. Penn State was operating fast.
Ready to go.
Ohio State was looking to the sidelines on defense. Big play, final minute, 3rd quarter. And they flip a pass, and it's broken up at the line. Chase Young got off the edge and snuffed it out. And the Buckeyes make a stand.
How about that sequence of plays? You talked about the missed field goal being a play to remember. The referee stopping this play and slowing down that momentum, and then Chase Young on 4th and short again, timing up the leap and getting up at 6'5" to knock that ball down.
Did you see the grimace on Urban Meyer's face? He knew that Freiermuth had snuck out and was wide open to make the first down and a lot more. But Chase Young stepping up in a big role. Who could help fill the void of Nick Bosa not being here? Number 2 is the answer tonight. Haskins pressured, lost a downfield throw, and it's inaccurate, way over the head of Mack, and well defended anyway by Taylor, who had the pick earlier. Corner blitz by Uruguaye took away time from the quarterback. Blindside. An aggressive approach, because that was a very makeable field goal for the freshman Pinniger, which would have given Penn State a lead. As it is, Young's big play preserves the 1-point cushion, and now Weber just mauled behind the line. But neither side has had much success running the football with the tailback tonight.
When they've been running the football successfully here in the second half, a lot of it has been hard hitting, not that slow developing where you're pulling those offensive linemen around that outside. Penn State's defense too quick there to give that play a chance to open up.
Ohio State, the only touchdown of the 3rd quarter, and headed to the final 15 minutes of this whiteout night in Happy Valley, this crucial September game. It's Ohio State 14-13. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Now they're going to rush the field goal team out here. And it's blocked. And Penn State is going to get their signature win.
Barrett fires into the end zone. Touchdown. Ohio State finds themselves in a position they've not been in all day.
Each of the last 2 years, the team trailing, entering the 4th quarter, has come back to win. Experts thought this would be a shootout. They were thinking 38-35 Ohio State. Just 27 points combined through 3. And now Haskins on 3rd and long delivers a low throw, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to C.J. Saunders, and the Penn State defense forces a punt.
Time they really rush 3. They bring a linebacker, Cam Brown, late. But Haskins, again, has to get off his point. A quick little step up into the pocket. Affects the accuracy again on that 3rd down throw because his young receiver, C.J. Saunders, had broken free.
Still waiting for special teams to make an impact in this game in a big, dramatic way. The way they have each of the last 2 years. Chrisman has pointed beautifully all night, just booms it back, and Tompkins retreats to his 25 and doesn't really get a block on the edge, and Okudah runs him out. Early stages of the final quarter. Penn State offense head back out there. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Wells Fargo. Early in the 4th quarter, this whiteout that was conceived by our friend Guido Delia finally unleashed, and is a full stadium in 2007 against Notre Dame. Surprisingly, Penn State is just 5-5 in the previous 10 full stadium whiteouts, and they trail by 1 here. From the 27. McSorley escapes, And scampers again for another gain. Got 12 yards. They almost trapped him, but he got free.
That's a really good effort because Draymond Jones, who's an outstanding pass rusher, gets in there, and he is a strong man at 6'3", 286 pounds. He's got him. Gives you an idea how physical Trace McSorley can be. Again, avoiding the negative play and picking up positive yards.
Sanders has really been contained tonight. The man wearing number 8 to honor Mark Allen, his injured fellow running back, really has not made a big impact in this game.
No, not at all. Trace McSorley, their leading rusher, and a lot of that is what we just saw, the creativity, the scrambling, the ability to improvise. Remember, Saquon Barkley last year didn't have a big night running the ball necessarily either.
Now he had the kickoff return to start the game, but they were all over him in the backfield frequently as a runner. 2nd and 8. McSorley pressured again. He'll be sacked. Tough Borland is at a big night. He's the one that forced the fumble that helped turn things around. Got the quarterback.
And they brought pressure with their linebackers, and not only that, they occupied the offensive linemen because they bring the defensive linemen this way, and then they bring the blitz here and here with the linebackers, and it's the middle linebacker, Tough Borland, that ends up getting free. But credit that defensive line slanting, occupying those offensive linemen to make it much easier for Tough Borland to get in there.
Only allowed 5 sacks in their first 4 games. And Penn State has been sacked 3 times tonight. 3rd and 13. Ohio State shows pressure again. This time McSorley steps up and lobs it for Hamler, who comes back and makes a catch. Slow to get up, but the freshman's made another big impact play.
And Jordan Fuller, the safety, came over. And I don't know if there was contact there after the catch by Fuller that caused that. For
a couple flags, Kirk, down in the area.
Yeah. Hamler is obviously down. He beat Fuller, who's Isaiah.
Personal foul.
Pryor came over.
Targeting. Defense number 12.
Yeah.
Half the distance to the goal. That play is under further review.
It's a 36-yard gain. And they'll review whether or not Pryor did make contact. The crown of the helmet.
He beats Fuller one-on-one, and looked like a shoulder actually hit the helmet of Hamler.
Hamler, by the way, is still down. Here's another look. Let's get Dave Kataya in for the first time tonight and see what Rick Nelson, the replay official, might be looking at here, Dave.
Well, the question is this player defenseless or not? Is he a runner? He's going down. All right, which means right now he's defenseless. So the contact can
confirmed. Number 12 is disqualified from the game.
So, Dave, a targeting foul on either team.
Exactly. And that is why this is a targeting, because he was defenseless. If this player's not defenseless, that's not a foul.
Yeah, that's the key, is him being defenseless makes it very, very different. You see the Penn State staff talking to Hamler, but let's go back to the play. He's right here. He gets matched up one-on-one with Jordan Fuller, who's a good player. Watch this move right there. He set him up perfectly. Outside move and then gets separation. And Trace McSorley puts that ball up there. It's not about beating Fuller. It's about beating Pryor, who's coming over. So he had to put that ball on a line.
First down at the 14. Hamler is being taken to the locker room as McSorley escapes. Trace McSorley and goal Penn State. A physical finish to that run.
And there goes Pryor into the locker room, and also Hamler, who's had a big night for this Penn State offense, heading into the locker room.
He was trying to negotiate staying, and the trainer said, no, we're going to go take a look.
Trace McSorley, though, on that play. Kind of symbolic of his career and his blue-collar approach to playing that position.
2 tight end look. 1st and goal. And they flip it to the end zone. Jump ball. Touchdown, Freiermuth. There's a flag in the end zone. The big 6'7" tight end just went up and got it with one arm.
Pass interference. Defense number 32. That penalty is declined. The play results in a touchdown.
And Penn State has reclaimed the lead. Freshman Hamler and Freiermuth making huge plays on the drive. Pinniger and make it a 6-point Penn State lead. 6 plays, 73 yards for Penn State. McSorley superb on the drive.
It's been a problem for McSorley at times, the ball being batted down. This time, watch how high he throws it over Malik Harrison just to make sure where his big tight end can go up and over McFarland for a touchdown. Trace McSorley at his best with 12:22 left in his game to put the Lions up by 6.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Wells Fargo. Established 1852, re-established 2018. In part by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. And Mazda. Feel alive.
The quarterback of that frightening 94 Penn State offense that demolished Ohio State. Honored by Steve Hatchell, National Football Foundation College Hall of Fame, welcoming in Gary Collins, class of 2018, the 18th Penn State player to make the Hall of Fame.
I was here and watched that game.
Were you brought to tears that night as well?
that was when I walked out of the stadium and said, that might be the best college offense I've ever seen in my life.
They'd had a playoff in that year.
Here we are, 2018, and I still think 1994 Penn State was one of the best offenses we've ever seen.
They think it's one of their better teams they've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
I had a chance to play for the national championship. Well, on that last drive, here's the big play downfield. McSorley finds Hamler, and then there was a targeting call on Pryor at the end of that for hitting a defenseless player.
Then he has a big run here. Shows that toughness that Trace McSorley's known for. The very next play goes up and over Malik Harrison, and Freiermuth makes the touchdown for the Lions. And now this place is going crazy. Probably the loudest it's been all night.
McSorley earlier continued his streak, 33 straight games with a touchdown pass. Lions show late pressure, and it's a reverse, and Campbell has blockers and makes the edge. So once again, an excellent call against that pressure from Penn State. Quickly to Cassidy for an update.
Thanks, Chris. A check-in on South Bend and the other top 10 matchup. Ian Book has 4 TD passes. This one to Miles Bourkin, an 8-yard score. Irish creating some distance, now up 38-17 with 8 to play, guys.
Running away with it, South Bend. Meanwhile, after the 17-yard gain, nothing for Dobbins on first down.
Let's say this real quick reaction to that Notre Dame score. You look at the rest of their schedule, Chris, they are going to be heavily favored in every game that they play. They start to become a real player for the college football playoff after that win today against Stanford.
Absolutely. They head to Blacksburg next Saturday night. Once again, there's really no threat of a quarterback run. They're just keying on Dobbins. A short gain sets up 3rd and long.
Well, they're locked in on those running backs when Ohio State runs the football. Here comes a 3rd down. It's been a struggle for Ohio State, 2 of 13 on the night. Penn State, in these cases, most often bringing pressure with linebacker blitzes to get after Haskins. Here they come.
Haskins this time steps up and delivers, and Campbell, a crossing route, spun down right near the marker by John Reed. So again, the spot will be crucial, but they're signaling 4th down.
It looks like about a half a yard short, maybe even less than that. It's a big decision. I mean, it's players are saying let's go for it, but remember, this is not without a mobile quarterback, a threat as a runner. It becomes a different game. Because every tendency says that J.K. Dobbins is going to get the ball, and he's getting the ball deep in the backfield with a quarterback in the shotgun.
They run 2 tight ends out there. Big play near midfield. They need just a few inches. Dobbins spun around. No, it's a keeper. Excuse me. Haskins fooled me, but not the Penn State defense, and they stop him short.
They blew up Dobbins, and in the process, they actually blew up Haskins. So I don't think they expected Haskins to have the ball, but they got such penetration. Watch them get penetration. They shoot through these gaps, and they blow up the running back Dobbins, and after that, there's just nowhere for Dwayne Haskins to go.
As Sharif Miller got there, Koa Farmer cleaned it up. You're right, it's such a different deal. This offense is productive in many ways, but without J.T. Barrett, this new philosophy, nothing's automatic on 3rd and 4th and short. What a stop for Penn State now. 6-point lead, take over near midfield. And they're thinking aggressively. McSorley steps up and fires a strike across the middle. Catch made by Hippenhammer. Another young guy making an impact. They're inside the Ohio State 35.
It's a great job by Trace stepping up into the pocket. Eventually sees his man break free. Watch how he works and finds his open man, kind of baiting the Ohio State linebackers to make them think that he's running, and then makes that throw.
First catch for Hippenhammer, a freshman from Indiana, who also takes part of the Penn State baseball team, a two-sport guy who handles academics well as a freshman. And Arnett with the helmet off, holding his head. Here's Mac Hippenhammer. And a big impact play in the win over the Illini. And they take a look at the starting corner for the Buckeyes. We'll step aside. Damon Arnett, who was not flagged for targeting. It was a helmet-to-helmet hit, but he took the brunt of it, and he is being helped to the Ohio State locker room. There's another look.
That's another helmet-to-helmet.
Pryor injected earlier, so now a couple of Ohio State starting DBs out of the game.
Jeffrey Okudah in, and along with Jason Went at safety for Isaiah Pryor. Okudah in for Arnett.
First down. Lions trying to add to a 6-point lead. And McSorley keeps it. And they were all over Sanders again that time. Would have been a tackle for loss if he'd handed it off.
Well, Trace McSorley has been vintage Trace McSorley these last couple possessions with the game on the line, showing you why we constantly refer to him as a point guard with his basketball background.
It's a huge sequence for McSorley, though. They're not in field goal range. 3 points would be huge for Penn State. McSorley looking for the end zone. Launches it off the fingertips of Jawan Johnson. He was in front of Okudah.
And they went right after Jeffrey Okudah just to challenge him with Arnett out. Second play, one-on-one. His receiver he has great chemistry with. Really well thrown ball. And by the way, pretty good coverage by Jeffrey Okudah, who looked like he might have got his left hand in there to knock that ball away. They tested him. He answers.
Still catchable for Johnson. Now it's 3rd and 10 out of field goal range. Enormously important play. Mike Black sets our field goal target line, and according to him, they need 4 yards to give Pinniger a reasonable chance. So McSorley is going to take off. He's going to get that and more. First down. McSorley muscles out inside the 15. Got a block on the edge from Johnson.
He gets a block also from the left tackle. Bates, left guard, Gonzalez. Watch the left side open up. Just you got to anticipate that McSorley on 3rd down is going to run, and Jawan Johnson giving great effort on Okudah downfield.
He got 19, Kirk. He's rushed for 137 tonight. And handed off to Sanders. There are quarterbacks who are reluctant runners, willing runners, and some are enthusiastic runners. I think like McSorley, he's not the biggest dude, but he just does not mind contact.
He plays with a chip on his shoulder. You know, that's the kind of leader he is. That's the way he runs his offense. Very surprised that Ohio State's linebackers were up tight into the line of scrimmage and left a void on the left side of the Penn State offensive line on that big 3rd down.
2nd and 8. Keeper again. McSorley hammers down, stretches, touchdown. Let's check it again. Did the ball get across before the knee hit? Actually, the elbow would put him down. We can't see from there.
Got to see where the ball
broke the plane.
Got to see where the ball is, where his left elbow touches.
And it's down. Keep it going, guys. There, it's down, and the ball is short
he'll be
of the
short.
plane.
That ruling is under further review.
Here's the progressive pylon cam. Anything other than the hand or the foot puts him down. So in this case, it's the left elbow right there. And the nose looks like about
the half-yard
short.
line. Yeah, the half-yard line.
What an effort, though.
Again, I know we're going to look at the spot, but I got to just go back and watch Trace McSorley. He's a gamer, man. The game's on the line. He wants the ball in his hands, and he's going to lower his shoulder and go over top of whoever gets in his way at 6 feet, 201 pounds, right over the safety, Went, who's in for Isaiah Pryor. Just like we saw in the last drive that eventually set up the touchdown pass. He puts two hands on the ball, lowers his shoulder, takes on those safeties. Been doing it his whole career. He's a foxhole guy. You want him on your team to be your leader.
Yeah, he's never lost a home start. He's 26-5 at Penn. 1-10 as a starting quarterback. 3 state titles in Virginia, lost the championship game his senior year. That's all part of his folklore. Desperately wants another championship here at Penn State.
But he told us his senior year, because I said, what happened to your senior year? He said, well, we were moving up a division, and the team we lost to, they were moving down a division. So it was a big ask there his senior year, but they did have the lead in the fourth quarter, he said, but the team they scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
The runner's elbow was down with the ball inside the 1-yard line, at which point it will be Penn State's ball, 1st and goal.
And remember, all those teams that wanted this guy as a safety did not see him as a quarterback. James Franklin did, committed to Vanderbilt, and then when Franklin took this job, followed him to Happy Valley. And he has smashed a whole bunch of Penn State career records. So now a half-yard separates Penn State from a 2-score lead midway fourth quarter. 2 tight ends. And Sanders is the back. Wouldn't bet against a keeper. And Sanders, who fights, pushes, and no signal yet. Touchdown. Now he's in. Up 12, they'll go for 2. Penn State's second fourth quarter touchdown drive. 7 plays, 52 yards. All Trace McSorley, except for that final foot by Sanders. Trying to make the lead 14 with exactly 8 minutes to play. Hippenhammer gets the flip, and Ohio State is all over him. Kendall Sheffield off the corner stopped him, so the lead still 12.
So when Penn State was down 14-13 before these 2 touchdown drives where Trace McSorley took over and got the Lions this comfortable lead. We'll see if Dwayne Haskins has any answers with Ohio State's offense.
We go from the whiteout singing Sweet Caroline to Lane Stadium. Enters Sandman as the Irish, who pulled away to beat Stanford by 3 touchdowns tonight, and the Hokies, who went on the road and upset Duke by 17. So we'll have that for you next Saturday, back to 8 Eastern here on ABC. 8 minutes for Ohio State to stage a furious rally. They were down by 15 at home in the fourth quarter last year before turning it around. Feels a lot tougher here tonight. Take a look at the quarterback comparison on the Pacific Life game summary. They operate very different styles. And McSorley with that huge third quarter.
Huge third quarter, 259 yards through the air, but on the ground, 147, many of those yards where he's been improvising and creating and showing that toughness. And for Dwayne Haskins, still has some ball to play. 8 minutes to go as McSorley trying to get that crowd fired up.
McSorley with 406 yards total offense. Penn State as a team has 439. Weber goes in motion. Haskins flips it short, and the catch is made for a short gain by C.J. Saunders.
Remember when Ohio State was moving the ball when the third quarter started, the second half got started, and a lot of it had to do with their execution up front at the line, but also a lot of the up-tempo when they got Penn State out of blitz mode and attack mode, and they were just trying to hold on. We've not seen that since going back to the early part of the third quarter.
Empty backfield with Weber split far to the left. And 2nd and 5, the Lions rush 4. Haskins has time, and a sideline completion in front of the cushion to Austin Mack. First down.
You know, this is typically when you see this offense, especially considering you're down late in this game by a couple possessions. Dwayne Haskins, I think, needs to feel some urgency about his approach right now with this offense.
And how aggressively will Penn State's defense play it? They've been very aggressive tonight. Not so in the last couple of plays. Haskins backpedals and delivers a throw downfield. A sliding attempt by Garrett Taylor. There is a flag down in the secondary.
It looks like a defensive hold. Ohio State trying to throw an out route. Looked like a miscommunication, but in fact it was a hold by Penn State. Austin Mack trying to get to that point where he was throwing it.
Pass interference. Defense number 5. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That's Tariq Castro Fields.
He's an athletic player. Just wraps up around Austin Mack, who's trying to set him up to move back to the outside. He just grabs around his waist.
Moves the ball to Penn State territory inside of 7 minutes. Ball sitting at the 47. Didn't take Ohio State long to threaten. Penn State bringing pressure. Haskins trying to escape, fires across his body high, and the catch is made. And Benjamin Victor still running. Victor cutting back against the grain, heading for the end zone, and will make it. And Ohio State still alive.
Well, we talked about Dwayne Haskins being moved off his spot and how he does as a passer when he's not in rhythm and not sitting back in the pocket with time to throw. Well, Penn State got after him. They blitzed just John Reed, who got in there. Haskins stepped up like we've seen Trace McSorley do. Throws it late and high over the middle, which is a no-no. But the big fella, Victor, goes up and makes a play.
47-yard touchdown, just his 6th catch this year. And the extra point makes it a 5-point game, 6:42 to play.
You're going to see pressure coming here. You'll also see Gibbons get in there and watch Dwayne Haskins. Remember we talked about him being in rhythm, how much better he is. Well, he has to step up here and make this throw. This is high and late. Keep in mind that Benjamin Victor is 6'4", goes up there, has strong hands to be able to hold on to it. And this is the thing that probably surprises anybody, including Ohio State fans, is what he did after the catch. He's known as a red zone guy to go up with his long arms to go up and make a play. But the yards after the catch, huge.
Long arms and long strides. Look how he seems to be running very smoothly, but he's gobbling up territory.
And also the block by Paris Campbell, and then the tight end, Rashad Berry, just pushing guys down the field.
Here's the missed tackle. Castro Fields had a tough series. He's the guy who was flagged for interference, and he's the man who will miss the tackle right here on Victor.
Yeah, misses a tackle, and then watch Paris Campbell hustle right there, 21. You see the tight end, 13, pushing a defender down the field. Johnny Dixon trying to help out.
What a response. 3 plays, 75 yards, just a minute 18.
Minute 18.
They put Sanders back at kick return, and he is going to leave it right there in the end zone. Penn State and Ohio State, it always seems to come down to the final few moments of the 4th quarter.
Offside. Kicking team number 47. The 5-yard penalty will be assessed at the succeeding spot. First down.
Means Penn State will start from the 30 after the penalty. How about this? Postseason baseball, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on ESPN. The National League wild card game. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with baseball tonight. Cubs, Brewers, both making the playoffs. One's going to win the Central. One's going to get in that wild card game. How about the Dodgers, Cardinals, Rockies are battling away?
I can't keep up with you. I mean, you Rockies guy, you're a Cubs guy. I mean, you got like 17.
Yes, I am.
I'm a suffering Reds guy. That's just it. That's what it is.
Cubs first, my man.
All right.
McSorley steps up again. adding to that rushing total. Gets a block and is dragged down. First down out across the 40.
I mean, this just in. Nine's a threat. Nine's a threat to run the football. It might be their best play. Man to man, nobody there to account for number 9 on the scramble. I mean, the entire week, the scouting report was Trace McSorley is a scrambler. He's a threat with his feet, not just his arm. You got to keep him in the pocket. Takes off again and picks up 13 yards.
This is not good for Ohio State. Draymond Jones, their best defensive lineman with Bosa out, slow to get up. But McSorley, meanwhile, has run for 160 yards. No Penn State quarterback in the modern era has ever run for more yards in a game. Kirk, if you can tell me the all-time record holder for quarterback rushing, I'll give you a Benjamin.
I have no idea.
Eugene Shorty Miller in 1913 against Okay, that's not the modern era. Other than that, McSorley, the most rushing yards by a quarterback Penn State history.
The crowd's booing, but Draymond Jones it looked like he got rolled up on. He's trying to get in there, and you see 52 falls back, and when he falls back, Bates, he falls back onto the leg of Draymond Jones. The crowd's thinking he's trying to slow down the Penn State offense, but no, it looked like he got his leg rolled up on.
Saying with Bosa already out until perhaps November, Jones, you just hold your breath when you see him go down. Penn State's moving against an Ohio State secondary that's -2 starters. Arnett left with an apparent shot to the head. Pryor ejected. McSorley, at that time they wrap him up, and a flag comes in on the tackle. Chase Young made the tackle. Is it a face mask or a hold in there?
It came
face mask,
right away. Yeah, it looked like Chase Young, when he tried to make the tackle, got a hold of McSorley's face.
Face mask. Defense number 2. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
It's going to move the ball into Ohio State territory.
Ohio State able to defend him, not let him be able to pick up positive yards, and instead they get their hand up in the face of McSorley and 15 yards on a personal foul.
Penalties have begun to mount. That's the 9th on Ohio State for 90 yards.
Urban Meyer's got to be thinking about Penn State continuing to be aggressive, but at the same time trying to work some clock, running the ball, and quarterbacks a threat running the football.
McSorley again steps up, escapes the pocket, and now fires. Was he across the line? There's a flag downfield where Tompkins makes the catch and is stopped at the 10. Very often he goes right to the line of scrimmage before he throws it. I think he might have gone too far that time.
It's offensive pass interference by the receiver, DeAndre Tompkins. He actually pushed the Ohio State defender off of him.
Meanwhile,
and at the line of scrimmage,
yeah, McSorley, I think he was on it.
Entire body's across it, so.
He has tremendous awareness of this. Rarely does he go across the line. He often steps right up to it, but this time he went too far.
If any piece of his body at all is behind the line, he's good.
There are 2 fouls on the play.
His entire body's across. Watch Tompkins here.
Offense.
Push Kendall Sheffield.
Number 3. In addition to
that's
that,
how he got open.
The Penn State quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. That's an illegal forward pass, 5 yards from the spot of the pass with a loss of down. The illegal forward pass foul is declined. The offensive pass interference penalty is accepted.
So the across the line doesn't matter. The offensive pass interference moved the ball back into Penn State territory.
You're right, Trace McSorley. We've seen it his whole career. We saw it tonight. Does a good job of, I kind of call it baiting the defense, the linebackers, especially the safeties, to get their eyes on him, to come off their receiver, and then he likes to find. He scrambles to throw, not always to just run unless you're going to give it to him.
That time he could have run. He obviously saw downfield that he
got a little greedy. He went for the big play.
Yeah. It's a very, very costly penalty. Don't see offensive PI too often, but makes it 1st and 25 way back at the Penn State 43. Typically that's a drive killer.
Ricky Ronnie, James Franklin, the offensive staff keeping their foot on the accelerator with respect to the clock. Instead of just running and working clock, they're trying to do what they think gives him the best chance to move the ball and to have that setback of 15 yards. See how that changes things, if at all.
You said it. He got a little greedy. He's made some tremendous decisions tonight. That time, could have kept the beat going. Could have run for yardage. Would have been perhaps down inside the Ohio State 35 if he'd run it.
Correction. Offensive pass interference, by rule, cannot take place with an illegal forward pass. Therefore, there is one foul on the play, the illegal forward pass, which will be enforced 5 yards from the spot of the foul with a loss of down, bringing up second down.
Let's bring in Dave Kataya. Dan Capper, they marched it back, and now the correction really improves Penn State's field position, Dave.
Well, they're right. You cannot have pass interference on an illegal forward pass, but if you look at the replay, it looked like McSorley's back leg was not all the way across that line. Take a look at this. Now watch when he releases it. All right.
He looks like he's across.
He may be across with that trailing foot, so the call's correct there. You can't have pass interference on an illegal pass.
And the other thing is they do lose it down. It was first and 25. Now it is second and 15.
Pressure. McSorley escapes again and powers down inside the 40.
Again, I'm continue to be surprised by the Ohio State linebacker play. This play is clearly not catching them off guard. They just can't stop it. We've seen linemen downfield blocking, and this time we see Miles Sanders leading the way, picking up a block there on tough Borland to give him more positive yards. Gives them a chance here on third down.
They need 6. They're not in field goal range. Inside of 5 minutes to play. Buckeyes are showing pressure. They bring it again, and McSorley steps up again and delivers incomplete. Very good coverage by Sean Wade on Hippenhammer. It's fourth down.
This time, they actually spied him successfully with Malik Harrison. Typically, you see Trace McSorley step up, but there, that time, is Malik Harrison forces him to throw the football instead of it being able to take off and pick up the yards.
So Penn State moved it 33 yards, took 2 minutes off the clock, but Ohio State will get the football back down just 5 in this back and forth battle here between these two Big Ten East powerhouses. They'll just take the 5-yard penalty, let that clock wind down, and back up Gillikin. Can you lose this game and still achieve your goals? Yeah, but you need a lot of help. It's going to be tough to win the East when you lose a division game like this. The winner, meanwhile, becomes the clear favorite in this division. And stays on track, of course, for the goals that all the players of these programs want. A playoff bid. Chance at a championship. Gillikin has been effective, knocking the ball deep. These coffin corner punts. And this one is a low kick with backspin that bounces at the floor and just stops right there. A sandwich perfectly executed will pin Ohio State back. A slow start for the junior punter, but that was clutch. And Cassidy Hubbard will have the Ford wrap-up show when this one is finished. But there's still some chapters to be written in this rivalry game. Here comes Dwayne Haskins, a slow start. He got going in that third quarter. The big play to Benjamin Victor, but they are 96 yards away from the end zone of the lead.
And need a touchdown. It's been a tough night, a night for Dwayne Haskins to grow up, and he happens to be right smack dab in the loudest part of this stadium, right in front of the student section.
Haskins from the end zone, flips it short. Bobble initially, but Dobbins has got it, and Dobbins has got room. Cuts back, still running, out to the 40. A huge play. The second time the tailback has made a huge catch and run.
And give Ryan Day a lot of credit for this on 1st and 10. He knows that Penn State's going to come after Haskins, gets those linemen out in front, picks up a couple good blocks, and when you get Dobbins into the open field, things can
35 yards to escape the noise of the student section in their own end zone. And now Dobbins bangs forward for 7 more.
Good push in the middle there by the left side of that Ohio State offensive line, along with the center, Michael Jordan.
Got to get him out, get that sod out of the face mask.
Mike Weber comes in. Now you're sensing a little bit of urgency right now from Haskins.
And you're sensing anxiety from this Penn State crowd, still trying to help the defense. They show pressure again, and they bring it. And Haskins gets protection and lofts it for Mack. That was in between 2 receivers and not near either one of them.
Yeah, I think it was to Luke Farrell, the inside receiver, the big tight end. He was in a one-on-one matchup with Nick Scott, but the ball goes over his head, and like you said, in between Farrell and Austin Mack.
Figure Meyer is going to elect to go for it, so they have 2 plays to get 3.5 yards. Weber bounces it, first down, and fights inside the Penn State 45.
How about the right side of Ohio State? Demetrius Knox, the right guard, kind of seals it. You get a kick-out block by the right tackle, Isaiah Prince. That block by the right guard, 78 Knox, allowed him to bounce that and get those yards.
Empty backfield, 4-man rush. Campbell in traffic. Paris Campbell bounces free and is knocked out at the 30. It's another first down.
Paris Campbell is known as their screen man, their bubble screen, jailbreak screen, yards after the catch guy. It's a matter of time that they wanted to get his hands on the ball, try to give him a chance to accelerate upfield.
You wonder if Penn State's considering a defensive timeout. Their unit looks a little worn out at the moment.
All 3 timeouts. He's got a cushion here with his inside receiver.
4-man rush, protection, and incomplete. Trying to get it to Campbell on a crossing route.
One thing you got to say about Dwayne Haskins is he does have poise. He has not had a great deal of experience coming into this year, with the exception of the second half against Michigan, where he came in with Ohio State down and played well to bring the Buckeyes back. But his poise is being tested, obviously, in a big way tonight.
Dobbins knocked down. It'll be 3rd down. It was J.T. Barrett having the finest passing quarter of his career against Penn State in the comeback win in Columbus a year ago. And Haskins trying to channel some of that poise of his predecessor.
Urban Meyer, Ryan Day and company thinking about clearly 4-down territory.
The
eyes and the focus of getting that play. Deciding to run there on 2nd down. They feel they have 2 plays to pick up these 5 yards. Again, slot receiver uncovered. There it is.
And they pitch it to Hill. Hill, first down. Still running. Touchdown, Ohio State. Buckeyes have the lead, 2:03 to play.
The play before, I thought they might go to it because that slot receiver had that cushion. They decided to go the other way to Paris Campbell. This time on 3rd and 5. They come back to K.J. Hill with 2 good blocks downfield. He makes a guy miss and then goes down the sideline for the touchdown.
Offense on the field to go for 2. Try to stretch the lead. When Penn State's defense tried to get aggressive early in the drive, the screen made it pay. When they backed off a bit, Ohio State had the answers there too. 96-yard touchdown drive. And this is important to make it a 3-point cushion. We've seen some drives today between teams trying to stay in contention for the college football playoff.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Try for point.
That'll be more difficult 2-point conversion if they still like to do that. We saw Clemson, that drive we talked about, engineered by Chase Bryce, to come from behind to beat Syracuse. And Ohio State, 2 touchdown drives after Penn State led by 12 with 8 minutes to go. That, an epic march there.
Yeah, 8 plays, 96 yards. With the game, you're trailing, game on the line.
Against the toughest environment in all of college football, beginning in the loudest part of the stadium.
Ryan Day deserves a big-time assist there with those play calls on that drive.
And now another whistle before the snap. Ohio State spent a timeout.
Prior to the snap, charge timeout. Ohio State, their first, and it's a 30-second timeout.
Like I talked about, Penn State stacking the line, but look at this. You have such a cushion there. That gets the ball out to K.J. Hill on the outside. What I found interesting here is that Austin Mack has a chance to block the undersized Reed or the bigger safety. He goes for the safety, freeing Reed, who's smaller, to have a one-on-one opportunity, and K.J. Hill makes him miss. Great decision by Austin Mack to get the safety, and then McLaurin comes over 83 to help out as well on Castro Fields.
That was Reed who just whiffed. 2 blocks were thrown there. It was 3-on-3 on the edge, and the Buckeyes won that one. It's been a tough tackling fourth quarter for the Penn State secondary.
Sure has. But Austin Mack coming off, I thought was interesting, coming off of the corner Reed and picking up the more physical Nick Scott. Great decision on his part to give K.J. Hill that one-on-one matchup with the undersized Reed.
This is big, obviously, because if Penn State can stop this conversion, a field goal would win it. Haskins from the pocket delivers incomplete. He was trying to get it to McLaurin. Coverage was good from the safety Scott, and the lead is still 1.
So he just set it up for Dwayne Haskins. What do you have in you, kid? Can you drive down? And now you're going to give Trace McSorley 2 minutes and 3 seconds and 3 timeouts, and he needs to get into field goal range to have a chance to win this game for Penn State.
And he faces an Ohio State defense that doesn't have Isaiah Pryor, the safety ejected for targeting here. Doesn't have Damon Arnett, who was sent out of the game. Love to see if Draymond Jones, their best defensive lineman, comes back on the field. He left injured the last series. A whole bunch of guys having to dig very deep. This has been typical Buckeyes Nittany Lions. Very physical, very hard hitting. The ice baths will be full after this game for a few days.
Tony Alford, running back coach, talking to J.K. Dobbins.
He made the huge play to start that drive on the screen. And they're backed up to the 4 right in front of those students.
There's Draymond Jones, who, based on that body language and his positioning on the sideline, looks like he is not being held back.
Sanders is the kick returner. Rarely do the Buckeyes allow kicks to be run back, and this one is driven deep into the end zone.
Well, Trace McSorley has come alive here really in the fourth quarter with great decisions, waiting and then finding his receiver, and then also doing what he does so well. Being able to make plays happen with his feet and then lowering his shoulder and giving that safety all he can handle, recognizing man-to-man, nobody spying him, and picking up huge yards, 170 yards alone on the ground and the 259 through the air. You got to wonder if Ohio State may spy him here to try to prevent McSorley from being able to take off and go.
He doesn't have K.J. Hamlin to work with. We talked about the shot to the head that he took, the one that resulted in targeting, and he has not been in the game. McSorley fires down the seam, and the catch is made by the tight end. Freiermuth makes an impact play. They're in Ohio State territory.
Hits this seam right here. You got a safety in the middle. You got to throw that again right on a line to give him a chance to catch it and get down to protect himself before the safety comes over to try to separate him from the football.
Huge play, plenty of time and all 3 timeouts. McSorley hesitated, and that time he'll be dropped, and they got him by the face mask again. Flag comes in. It's again going to be on Chase Young.
Chase Young in there, in position, does a good job. He just keeps getting his hand up high into the face of McSorley. That's a face mask. Well, he thinks he got the shoulder pad here. Did he grab the shoulder pad?
Ohio State players are lobbying that it was not the face mask.
There is no foul on the play for a face mask. It's second down.
The way his head moved made the official think it was the face mask, and that's why he stated his case. He grabbed a hold of the shoulder pad. His hand actually grazed his face mask and then came off and grabbed the jersey.
2nd and 14. McSorley launches downfield. Polk. Incomplete. Pass was out of bounds, fading away. Sheffield in coverage. 3rd and 14.
They leave these corners at Ohio State on islands. May the best man win. There's no safety back there to help out. Kendall Sheffield, one of the fastest players on Ohio State. And Brandon Polk has a great relationship and chemistry. Goes all the way back to their high school days with Trace McSorley.
McSorley needs some magic here. 2 plays to get 14 yards.
This is where his scramble has been effective for Penn State. Malik Harrison, who's sometimes spied him, is right there, but shows blitz from the outside.
Now they show pressure up the middle, and McSorley still got the football. Makes a cut and dives down short of the marker. It'll be 4th down.
Ohio State thought that ball came out before he went down, but Trace McSorley jumped back on top of the football.
So clearly an attempt, Kurt, to get some of those 14 yards. He got 9, and it'll come down to this play.
Well, 2016, it was a game that went down to the wire. 2017 was amazing in the way it went back and forth, and here we are this year. Couldn't ask for much more. Back and forth, 27-26 Ohio State. 4th and 5 for McSorley, who's one of the best in the country in this situation. In fact, if you could handpick a quarterback in the entire country, 4th and 5 with a game on the line, he'd be in that discussion.
Sure would be. If you're thinking one thing in Ohio State, you're thinking don't let a quarterback run beat us here. Nittany Lions need 5. And Ohio State spends a defensive timeout to talk about what Penn State showed them there. Man, it takes a lot to come in here and conquer Penn State in the toughest environment. And both teams have taken shots from the other side. And Ohio State, 8 minutes to go, was down 12 points, and Dwayne Haskins had a rough, uncharacteristic night in many ways, out of his comfort zone, found a way to engineer 2 long touchdown drives, and now McSorley has to make a play here to answer.
Yeah, it's been an incredible 4th quarter. Everything you hope for. Ohio State came back, as you said. Haskins made plays, but also he had a lot of help. The receivers, offensive line, and now we set up really the play of the game right here with 4th and 5.
Sanders is the back.
Penn State getting a look at Ohio State's defense, making their adjustments based on that man-to-man look for the Buckeyes. And now James Franklin calls the timeout.
Well, this is the game. So the chess match continues. And it has been a very interesting and well-balanced chess match on both sides all night. Ricky Ronnie, the offensive coordinator, taking over for Joe Moorhead, of course, to win to Mississippi State. The offense so prolific in recent years. It has not missed a beat under Ronnie. You know the other side's going to expect the quarterback to run.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's done it all night. But I think Ohio State's known it's coming, and they still haven't been able to stop it. That's why if you're Ricky Ronnie, you're sitting there. I think their best play tonight has been a design pass, and if it's there, make the throw, and if it's not, take off, create, make a play.
You think about Freiermuth, the tight end, number 87, has made some big catches tonight.
And the other thing is when he scrambles to throw is always a dangerous play for Penn State.
Different look now off the timeout. 3 receivers to the left. Ball game right here.
And now Malik Harrison is right here in the middle where you would think he is spying.
Gotta hurry. Just get it off. Sanders smothered. Chase Young, another big play. Ohio State makes a stop and takes over. And they're going to come to the whiteout and conquer the Nittany Lions.
Wait, Chase Young comes way from his outside on kind of a stunt that played right into the hands of what Ohio State wanted. I have to be honest, I am shocked by the play call. After a couple timeouts, meetings on the sideline, I really thought you put the ball in the hands of Trace McSorley with the option to run or throw, and instead a zone read, and they hand it off.
Miles Sanders has been bottled up all night. Smothered, really, in the running game. Just 43 yards. And Ohio State's defense makes a stop. They were reeling early. They answered to take the lead. Penn State threw shots and got the lead back. Double-digit lead midway fourth quarter. But Haskins and the Buckeyes, 2 marathon marches, including that final eventual game-winning touchdown drive from their own 4-yard line.
Yeah, it's been so easy for Dwayne Haskins. He grew up more tonight in 60 minutes than the previous 4 weeks because of what he faced tonight. This is a big night for him and really for this entire Ohio State team to be challenged like this. I've said all week, this environment, the whiteout in this stadium, when you're a top 10 team, it's as tough as there is in the country. And they obviously were tested, and they were able to come out of here with a 27-26 victory.
No more timeouts for Penn State. They can't stop it after this. And Ohio State negating a huge night for McSorley. Rushed for 175, threw for 286, but did not play a part in that final crucial 4th down play. 461 yards of total offense, breaks Hackenberg's school record.
Wow.
He won't care about that. It'll be his first loss at home as a Penn State starter.
It's easy for anybody to second guess play calling. You and I
think you have to, though.
You and I rarely do that. But I will say that I was completely shocked with that last call. Just completely shocked that your quarterback has a career night. His ability to run and throw, their man-to-man coverage. He's been taken off and improvising all night, whether he runs for the first down or he buys time to get a receiver to separate from man coverage and throw it. But instead, the handoff to Sanders. In Ohio State, their defensive line without Nick Bosa played incredibly well. Key moments tonight.
And that chess match, which unfolded in slow motion, timeout after timeout, won by the Ohio State staff as Young made that stunt that she pointed out. And you're not the only one that's going to question that play call. Ohio State comes to Happy Valley and comes from behind to win by 1. And they are going to be huge favorites now in their next 4 games. They're going to be 9-0 heading to Michigan State, barring a major shock. This one will sting for McSorley. He won't question the play call, no doubt. But you wonder if he has to be thinking that he would like to play a role in that last Penn State offensive play. Urban Meyer and the Buckeyes show some grit, come in here and escape with a W, and he's with Tom Rinaldi.
Chris, thank you very much. Urban, what did you say to your quarterback who had been knocked off schedule and really knocked it to an uncharacteristic performance, having to drive 96 yards to win the game?
It was 96 yards against a hell of a defense, too. Great environment. I'll respect our opponent, but wow. Ben Victor making that great play, defense making stands against a great quarterback. That's a great team win.
You said we had gone wrong. Nothing went right A to Z, you told me on the way in at half. What did you tell the team? What adjustments did you make, Urban?
Well, Ryan Day and Kevin did a great job, and Greg Schiano, just great coaches, great players, found a way to win against a good team.
What does it mean to you to come into this environment, get a win like this?
That's one of the best wins I've ever been a part of.
Appreciate it, Urban. Maria?
All right, thanks, Tom. Dwayne, the first thing you said when you walked over here was that was unbelievable. Why do you say that?
You know, we were down and out. We had a really hard game. We played all 4 quarters really hard. You know, we believed in each other, though. That's what's so amazing about it. We came back. We were down, never lost. Amazing.
Take me back to less than 3 minutes on the clock, and you orchestrate a 96-yard drive to take the lead. What was your mentality going into that drive?
You know, just one play at a time. You know, people get caught up into the end game of the score. You know, ever since that drive started, we're just going to manage the game. We're going to go out there and try to do the best we can to go score a touchdown. And our defense played a great game today.
So many people had questions about you, first-year starter, and coming into this raucous crowd. What do you think you answered about your ability to handle a field environment like this?
I've been doing this since I was a little kid. You know, God's had his hands on me, and, you know, I was made for this.
And what do you take away from this win with Ohio State?
It's a great win, really great momentum shifter for going into next week, the homecoming versus Indiana. You know, I'm just so proud of my boys, so proud of my defense. You know, we're going to enjoy this win.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. The folks from Scarlet have made their way from the upper deck to sing and celebrate with the Buckeyes. Penn State on the other side. 7 for 10, 2 touchdowns for Haskins in the fourth quarter. Penn State left a lot of points on the board in the first half and late as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to say about this. Penn State shouldn't drop #1 in the rankings, in my opinion. They're a top 10 team. And Ohio State deserves a lot of credit. In fact, I've had them at 4 the whole season based on what other teams with other bigger challenges have accomplished. And now you'd have to move, in my opinion, move Ohio State up to finding a way to win a very tough game. And Dwayne Haskins, I said it just a few minutes ago, I think he got more out of this, and Ohio State as a team got more out of this, being tested like this, than they have the 4 previous wins, because everything's been so easy for Haskins and their offense. Tonight it wasn't. And without leaders like J.T. Barrett and Billy Price and others, they needed a game like this for 2018 to kind of arrive as that moment, and they got it.
What is September for Ohio State? They go down to Arlington. They were down 8 against a tough TCU team, came from behind. They come into this environment, which is really beyond words, and they come from 12 points down to win in the fourth quarter. And they'll be heavily favored to keep rolling and be in the top 2 or 3. Our final score in another whiteout classic: Ohio State 27 and Penn State 26. Game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. Great job by our entire crew here in Happy Valley tonight. Ole Miss and LSU in action over on ESPN. For Maria, Tom, Kirk, I'm Chris Fowler saying good night from State College. Cassidy Hubbard and the Ford Wrap-Up Show coming up right now.